Oh, sorry, hold on. My fault. Wait. Uh. Sorry. That's fine. Sorry. Getting a little worried. Oh, let me. 1 second. I'm making sure my stream is actually recording audio. Because it might be very quiet. I'm trying to figure out why. Sorry. Why the fuck are you... This is very weird. Menu, load my settings. OBS, full component, adjust my setup. Okay. That. See if that works. Somebody say something? Why the fuck isn't it? What the fuck? I'm sorry! Hold on. Wait, let me check another thing. YouTube.com my dashboard. What the fuck? You'd think. Yeah. Haha. Oh, is it because... Shit! Uh... It's just very quiet. It's just being very quiet for some reason. I'm not sure why. My volume levels seem to be okay. At least, like, I even moved back to a previous setting that I knew worked. It's just being very quiet. That's really fucking weird. What the fuck? Sorry. Why is this... Uh... Oh, wait. Let me put this up. Bring this thing up. Come on, be louder. Be fucking louder, damn it. Wait, down a little bit, maybe? No. Why the fuck are you... You could be too... Be too... Okay. This might just be very quiet for some reason. Okay. You might have set it to private. boy. Okay. Okay. Hopefully that'll at least be curable later. It's very quiet. I don't know why it's very quiet, but that is really weird. That's worrying me, but okay. Yeah, sorry. Yeah. That was a persuasion thing, wasn't it? Oh. Oh, that was the time before then. When we were still in the barn before we left the thing, but he wasn't at there at the beginning at the time, so we didn't get to it. Which is very strange considering she's usually up first. Um, quickly shovels to her feet, looks around, and did anyone see where my lord went? It's a little messed up by that, but kind of should be all right. Must probably went to meditate. Oh, looks at that. Quickly reaches down to grab it and open it. All right. She'll start gathering her things and prepping for the day. Um, I'm uncertain how I should be setting things up. Like slowly glancing over that way, like, huh. I said nothing. I said nothing. That was quite strange. Kind of curiously wander that way. Seo, why doth thou keep a broken blade? Thou didst tell me he was lost because of thy former allies? Forgive me. 'Tis a sad story. I somewhat understand losing a brother. I lost mine a long time ago, but I managed to bring him back. I am sorry that thou didst not. Sounded quite brave. I can't hear the pronunciation. You're very hard to hear sometimes. I'm sorry. JR? Eeyore. Oh, right. She just kind of smiles, like, slightly sadly at that. Forgive me, I doth not remember my brother's name anymore. I wish I could. 'Twas somewhat of a similar but different situation. We were betrayed by our own. There was a coup on our castle, and he was slain in the process. But I wished for his return, and now I am here. As long as possible. 'Tis my goal as well. Albeit for my lord, first and foremost, but I doth hope everyone here will survive me. But thou doth not need to worry about me. You did mention the war room and prepping, so go, I guess, meet up at, was it like the town hall type thing? Hmm. Yeah. You can also head that way and figure out what you can do. Sorry. Hmm. tomorrow. What doth thou have so far?
And Palor is been kind of set up as another like healing area with the different clerics and that are with the what few that are available, the priests and stuff. And then lastly, the building over here, the bigger building over there, is kind of like the town hall where the Margrave uh, lives, and where like up on the second floor, and the first floor is kind of where like the meeting hall, like town meetings are held and stuff like that. Um, Sheriff Conrad's uh, office is right there, and um, this the Tillery is not actually to the Tillery. That's the general store. Um, that's been kind of almost not like looted, but like the official term they were, is they were reconnoitered and recommissioned by the Shield
Manifest
for,
destiny.
yeah, like, times of emergency, all this shit now belongs to us because we need to defend the town. Like, we're not paying for it, but we need all these shovels and shit, so deal with it. We'll try and return them to you when the emergency's over if we can.
Shovels.
Basically, it's like how they take land with eminent domain for the government, or whatever. Except it was for supplies. Like all this grain and shit is now going to feed the troops. And anyway, and then lastly, the barn you guys have been staying in is right there.
Um, as I was saying,
Yeah.
if we set up foxholes or spider holes for our gnolls specifically to pop out of, possibly dug by the other um, gnolls.
You mean the priest eaters, right?
Yep, that's the ones. We
Yep, that's what they're called, asshole.
we might be able to take out a slew of backlined operatives that believe they're safe, and a divided army cannot operate proficiently on two fronts.
Sheriff Conrad pipes up and says, "Yeah, but didn't you say those priest eaters?" And he looks at who was it that went to the priest eaters? It
Me.
was
Me. Say,
Knox and Sad. Didn't y'all say that they weren't going to be here for about a week?
yeah. Pretty
I
much
mean,
all the tribes won't be here for a week.
I mean, they all need to be like the preparation would be to make coverings for the aforementioned holes, and they
Yeah.
all need to be dug like whatever the height of the knoll is.
I think they're
You know,
about 7-8 feet at the
yeah. So
most.
just have one
I'll
knoll. Just go in Minecraft. Just dig straight down. You never do that, but you do that
Wait.
here.
Wait,
And
what? What's Minecraft?
Yeah, what's a
What?
Minecraft?
mine
Sheriff
shaft,
Con-
like a
yeah.
mine shaft, like a
Oh,
mine
mine
shaft.
shaft. I misheard you. I'm sorry.
Huh.
Obviously.
Sheriff Conrad turns and looks at Margrave Giselle, and she says, "I will see what personnel we can spare towards this endeavor."
All right, that sounds really good. Now, I think we have 2 weeks, right? I think it behoove us, big word, I know, uh, to go and find these people and see what they have. Because we can prep all we want, but they can surprise us with something. And, maybe we go there and we find a way to, have a plan set up to where we can lessen their numbers so that it equals the playing field. Because what? Cortana, what's the number advantage? They're like, is it 3-1 or something like that? Like that, they got like thousands compared to us. Isn't that what they were saying?
I believe so. Something similar than that. And I agree, we should be scouting ahead and perhaps enlightening ourselves further as to their capabilities.
Captain Isabella does say she indicates towards the table and says, "These placements we have for them are what we is our best guess. We have not yet been able to spare any men to send out to, ascertain. I mean, we knew approximately. We tried to keep an eye on the bulk of their forces." Uh, because they've been becoming such a problem, and so we had a general idea of where they were, and so this placement is just a best guess of what we thought, what route they might take, and how fast we guessed they might be moving based on what little information we've been able to piece together from what you've told us about the size of their numbers.
Mhm.
Perhaps we
Well,
could be of further assistance in that matter.
Hard intel would be of their numbers, capability, all of anything you could get would be invaluable at this point.
so going there, I don't think is the problem. Getting in, I don't think is going to be the problem. It's just getting out is going to be hard. So I'm guessing we're all going to go because I ain't letting just one of you guys go because I don't want you guys to die. Be stupid. We need all the help we can get for this. So
It would be foolish
I
simply
guess
to send one person, at least 2 or 3, but it would depend
I,
on how good art thou at stealth, Noxus.
well, that was going to be my next thing. I'm not. I mean, I'm a big fucking guy. I stick out like a sore thumb. I mean, I'm pretty dark. I mean, I'm green, but I look black. So I mean, I don't stick out that much. But I'm pretty fucking huge. So I would not suggest me going into the camp. But this is like, I'm thinking like we all stay out on the outskirts and like somebody who's stealthy and fast go in like a team of 2 or maybe 1 and get a better look at what's going on and maybe even lay something in wait and we bombard them and run.
Fike, what's your passive perception again?
14.
14. You notice the sheriff kind of turns and looks at you.
I mean, I have my own suicide mission that I'm planning.
Pardon?
Asking you to-
Yeah, I hope I'm not involved in that. I don't want to die yet.
Well, we can get our hands on as much oil as possible, and hard liquor. Might be actually start a chaos in the camp, run some tents. You know, diminish the numbers a bit,
I
run some
mean,
goblins out. But it's
yeah,
To lower their
it's not a bad
unless
idea.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
morale destroys wars.
I mean, I have. I mean, you guys know I got fireball, so we can just light it up. But I think I'm the only one who can use it. I don't think anybody else has it.
All I
Yep.
got is this bracelet fires fire.
Well,
Yeah,
my
scorching ray thing, right? Yeah.
Uh,
we do have a second fireball if we plan
Wait, we do.
is more valuable now.
Well, I can cast it twice, so yeah.
Well, if we get Shango, if I may, if we can dispense those two spells from your rod and charge it with that, I could possibly blow that up inside the camp, which having a general idea. Also, if I'm going to be in the camp and you guys are going to be shooting at it, I don't really want to be in the middle of it or anywhere near it.
Right,
So,
right. Yeah, that's kind of smart. I would think you would set off. I mean, if Shango's cool with it, like you would set off the first explosion, and that would be key to us where and where not to shoot.
I was thinking, but unless you guys got some ankle weights that you guys are willing to shed, I think I'm going in that camp alone because you guys are pretty slow.
Cortanus like gives him a look at that. I have learned that thou doth need protection more often than not, father. I can assist thee.
Yes, with traps.
With traps, yes. But I am not slow, as thou wouldst say, or bulky in a sense. Is that
Yeah,
the
I
word?
would.
She looks over the two, like expecting, like she's probably heard it along the way.
we could always accompany him instead.
Yeah, I mean, I would feel comfortable with you going. I mean, I don't
Yeah,
know.
why do you always want to do things alone, Father?
Oh, was that Erdan? You kind of cut out.
Said, why do you always want to do things alone, Father?
Because I don't want to risk you guys' lives. If
So-
I die in that camp, then at least you guys can come back and defend us. If we all run in there willy nilly like chickens with our heads cut off, and everybody dies, Terse is none the better. So at least if someone comes back, if you guys come back, they have a better shot.
Why is it always got to be you that makes the sacrifice? Why don't I go in there?
Well, okay, all right. I'll hear it out.
Yeah.
What's your plan?
I'd like to hear this.
I'm all ears, and I'm not being
I
sarcastic.
can make a pretty decent distraction.
Okay. What are you thinking?
If you want to
Canst
sneak in
thou
the back
remain
and
under
thunder step me
hiding?
out, after you guys, they're obviously gonna pay attention to me if I walk straight into the whole camp. They're probably gonna surround me. You guys can set up the explosives or whatever you want to do. You set up a spot where you can get to me, Noxus, and thunder step me out, and we light the bomb and leave.
Yeah, that's a pretty good. Wait a minute. When the fuck did you start talking to me?
Desperate times.
It is not the time to think about that now.
Okay. That's a good idea.
And then no one has to die or sacrifice themselves.
That's not a bad idea at all. Now,
Split
Might.
the party. Split the
The
party.
fuck?
Exactly what the DM wants. Exactly what the DM wants. I mean, my thunderstep can only get us 90 feet, so if I
Yeah,
cast,
but the explosion is gonna make them pay attention to something else.
good point.
And your thunderstep also electrocutes them,
Yeah,
if I'm not wrong.
no, you're not.
So
I haven't used it yet.
It's also not an No, it's not an explosion. It's a the fire.
I was.
Just
I mean, if
leveling
the
stuff.
fire probably make a bomb with
I mean,
resources
yeah.
here.
I mean, I could just cast it a second to be out of there.
Isabel says, as far as hard alcohol is concerned, I have no idea to what our supplies look like with that. She turns to Sheriff Conrad and he says, I may know about a semi-legal still in one of the farmhouses.
That'll work.
Semi. Yeah, it's not legal, is it?
No, all moonshine is legal. What are you talking about?
We have a don't ask, don't tell policy in First, if you understand what I mean, boy.
I like you.
As far as oils go, we don't keep that much around, enough to keep our wagon wheels greased and hitches and other, equipment lubricated. But other than that,
Well, lard and tallow.
Wait, I have
You
a
guys got
great
plenty of animal
idea.
fat, right?
we have plenty of animals.
Hey, Father, I got a great idea. So we don't have a lot of it, right? Like we got a good amount of it. What if we took took something and soaked it in it, like say 50 feet worth of rope?
I think here. Why don't you come with me? Sheriff Conrad says, and he indicates for at least Fike if nobody else wants to, but for him to follow.
Cortana's
I follow.
agreeing on this because
I'm
I'm
peaked.
just curious about things.
I'm peaked.
So Nox, Cortanus, and Fike are going.
Split the party.
Well, not really. You're in the village.
You're safe.
You're safe.
Ish.
Go to other sides of the village. Go to other side.
So Sayao and Erdan, you're staying in the tent. Cortanus, Fike, Nox, you guys are led not that far. Just over to one of the homes over here. And Sheriff Conrad walks over and knocks on the door. And you watch as an older human male with leathery skin from, probably years working in fields. Comes to the door. Looks very long white hair that's back in a braid. He has like a leather band tied around his head. Looks very spry. He looks probably older than he is, but is still probably pretty old. And he has some like makeshift leather armor and a short sword on his hip. Kind of looks like Willie Nelson. And
Well,
Is he Willie Nelson?
his name is William Nelson.
Wilhelm Nielsen.
Take
And
inspiration,
Sounds
DM.
about-
Take inspiration.
thank you. I will actually take inspiration.
I was kidding. I don't have that power.
Sure you do.
we're
You
fine.
just didn't know about it.
Then I give Father Fike inspiration.
And
I already have it. I already have it.
Wilhelm Nielsen says to Sheriff Conrad, you brought some friends, I see. What can I do for you? I was just getting ready to go help dig some more holes out in the western fields. And he goes, Wilhelm, we're going to need access to your stash. And Wilhelm gets this look on his face like, bitch, I told you we weren't supposed to talk about that. Like that was between you and me, man. Like, what the fuck? and he says,
Snitches
"I
get
don't know
stitches."
whatever you are. I don't know whatever you are talking about, Sheriff." And Sheriff goes, "All right, Wilhelm, come on. It's desperate times. These guys are going to be going to try and scope out the war camp, and they're going to need some fire water, quite literally, if you know what I mean." And he looks him up and down, and the guy does not look convinced uh, at all. And he kind of is looking over the sheriff's shoulders now at the three of you.
Oh,
Hey,
hi.
how you doing?
Howdy.
I'm Father Fike. We request your moon signs. Should I? I'm gonna talk to you like a person and not like there's a sheriff here. We're planning on burning their camp down, and since this town has a severe lack of oil, moonshine is the closest thing that we could have to making the most chaos and giving your town the greatest chance of survival in these trying times.
Yeah, yeah.
Make a persuasion check.
Don't have advantage.
I tried to help.
Mm.
I
19. That's pretty good. He kind of looks you up and down, and he gets this real, like, this look on his face of, like, a realization, like, you know, understanding the situation that he and the town is in, and he says, "Well, when you put it like that, I do kind of like the way you think there, Padre." And he opens the door the rest of the way and says, "Follow me." And he leads you into his relatively small home. It's single floor. He brings you into this like common area slash kitchen slash dining room. And you can see that there are two doors that lead off to other rooms. And he says, "Sheriff, give me a hand." And they both move the large, like 8-person dinner table out of the way, move it to like one side of the room, and then he flips up the rug that it was standing on, and there's a door there, a door hatch that he opens up, and he disappears down a set of stairs.
I'm gonna
Padre.
follow.
Yeah.
Cortanis, yeah, you hear Noxus, you hear Cortanis say under her breath, "Padre?"
It's gnomish for father.
Yeah.
Huh.
This guy is a gnome. Yeah.
Huh.
I would have never guessed.
Come on, the guy, like, you really think that the person in town with the still under their house is not a gnome?
Yeah.
No,
by the
I would actually think he was a
by the way, still underneath house is like one of the most terrifying sentences I've ever heard in my life.
He's very careful.
Yeah, I'm sure.
You get led downstairs, and as soon as you go down the stairs, you're amazed at how big the room is, like how big and spacious it is down here. You look around and you see all of this like steam powered. The reason it's the house, you understand now why it's the house next to the lake. Apparently, he's accessed the pond through the subterranean area to help power his steam engine for the water from the pond. The steam engine that helps heat up and distill the moonshine for him. And you can look around, and there are just pallets of those like clay one finger loop hole with a cork in the top, like moonshine jugs. There's just pallets of them. There's probably, if each one of those jugs is a 2-gallon container, there's probably several hundred gallons of moonshine down here.
For the love of Sarenrae.
Cortanis is more focused on the steam aspects. Very curiously.
Yeah, this weird contraption with like all these like it has all these like dials on it, and like what do you call them? Like the twisty knob.
Worms.
Yeah. No.
Oh no.
The
Knobs.
Gauges.
Gauges.
Gauges, and there's little readout, little like needle readouts, and every once in a while you can see like some steam escaping from some one area. And he goes over and grabs the gnome. Wilhelm Nielsen goes over and grabs one of the jugs and brings it over. And there's like a metal table in the middle of the room, and he takes out a shot glass and uncorks it. And as soon as he uncorks it, I mean, it's not a huge area down here. It's pretty big. It's a lot bigger than what you expected coming down that little trap door. But it's probably like a 20-foot by 20-foot by 20-foot room. And as soon as he uncorks the bottle, all of you get the smell, like the fume.
Oh my gosh.
It smells a little bit like gasoline.
Yeah, Katas pulls out her handkerchief and just
and he pours it.
The god's names on.
He takes out he takes out 5 glasses and sets them on the table and pours and fills. They're all shot glass size, and he fills them all up. And as you go to reach for him, he like holds his hand out, and then he takes like a small twig and he lights it on one of the torches and goes around to each shot glass, and they all light up and they burn this like weird like green flame color.
Green flame. Sorry.
Thank you. Take inspiration. But there's the green color to the flame, and he reaches down and lifts up the shot glass and holds it up to you guys and says, "Down the hatch."
I'm gonna quickly blow mine out.
I shall
I'm gonna blow mine
pass.
out.
He hasn't blown his out yet. You just gotta throw it back real quick. That's all.
All right,
I
first
shall
time for
respectfully
everything.
decline, thank thee.
All right, yeah, I'm gonna. Fine, I'll do it
All
with the Cortanuses too. Fuck it.
You're gonna take Cortanuses as well.
Yeah, fuck it.
All right. So the sheriff takes one. Everybody who throws one back, and if you throw 2 back, so everyone makes a Constitution saving throw. Fike, you can make yours with disadvantage.
Nope.
Okay, Wilhelm, yeah, like a champ. So, pretty good. Fike, you. All right. So as it hits your throat, instantly it's a burning sensation. It's not the flame. It's it's a different kind of burn. It's almost like a chemical burn sensation
But
as it
also
runs
the
down
flame.
your throat. Your eyes water, and you get that stinging sensation in your nostrils. As it goes down, Fike, you instant like. You know those like weird goggles that like the dare officer would bring around and
Yeah, the
make
beer
you wear?
goggles.
Yeah, that's what your vision looks like instantaneously.
Nope.
This was a poor decision.
Noxus, you have you get this burning sensation in your chest, but you're a hardy dude, and you're able to like your eyes water up a little bit, and you get that like stinging in your nose, but it just like hits you, and you're very alert. Like so, you for the next 24 hours, you have advantage on initiative rolls.
Hell yeah!
Oh damn.
Woo!
Uh,
Oh damn, that was some good stuff.
the sheriff is coughing like a 14-year-old that just took his first hit off a cigarette. He's like hunched over, like Jesus, Will, like just cursing, like like
Just
these
looking
weird,
at all
like,
those reactions, Katana's just like slightly that shall do, I suppose. Huh. Art thou right? Sheriff.
He says, "Watch this," and he leads you guys back upstairs and out to the pond, and he just starts kind of like dumping the rest of the bottle into the water, and then lights a match and throws it onto the pond, and that same green flame
Green flame.
lights up on a surface area of the pond of about like 5 feet by 5 feet, like a 5 foot diameter, burns for about 30 seconds, and then goes out.
How much is this gonna cost us?
Well, usually I sell each jug for 3 gold. However, with it being, for the defense of home and all, I'll sell you each jug for 2 gold.
We're gonna take 16.
Sold.
All right. Noxus, pay the man. I can't count. I can barely see.
Yeah. Fike is like bumping into things.
Just grab him by the shoulder and just steady him the entire.
He's like leaning against one of the trees by the pond. Kind
It's
of.
on this. You
Getting a
smell
bit-
nice.
He was talking to Wilhelm, but like Wilhelm's only like 3 feet tall, and Fike was looking at him like he was 6 feet tall, like he was talking to like an actual full-grown human. But
It's double vision, but horizontal.
yeah, but horizontal.
Respect.
It's vertical instead of horizontal. um,
So I take out 32 gold and I hand it to him.
he says, "It's a pleasure doing business with you." He says, "I tell you what, I'll throw in a 17th one, uh, uh, just for if you make sure you do a good job." And he goes down and retrieves all of the bottles, and every time he brings another one up onto the front lawn for you and to throw onto a cart for you guys, he's like written something with like black paint on the side of the clay thing, like how like they in World War II would write like to Hitler from the 52nd Airborne or something like that on like the bombs.
Oh wow.
So like on the side of each bottle says something like "To Grood with love" or "Ravagers suck," or like
Thought they'd all have like names like Monica,
yeah.
Jessica.
I thought they were gonna have X's on it. That was way better.
Just the entire.
This one's my 4X stash. This is my 2X stash. This is for the children, but
Yeah.
Just the entirety of that one Cherry Poppin' Daddy song. Just all the female names in that. Just.
Yeah.
Uh,
But
number 5.
Mambo number 5. Thank you.
oh Jesus Christ.
My mom.
Let's not. So he loads it up onto your cart and heads off to. You see as he lights up his pipe, and you smell a funny herbal scent coming from his pipe as he walks off.
Ooh.
I mean, it's Wilhelm Nelson, of course he.
Yeah, I figured.
Yep.
Pipe near that?
He never lit it when
Proximity.
he was down.
Okay.
Yeah, he's walking away.
Alright.
He's really screwing over his stash if he's got the pressure relief valve set too low to relieve the alcohol vapors from the. It's really stupid. He should probably not do that. Also, he shouldn't smoke.
He wasn't. He was on the front yard when he lit up.
I know. I'm just being drunk.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh,
And
okay.
grabbed by both shoulders and kind of moves over.
So Erdan and Seao, like an hour goes by of you guys strategizing with the Margrave and Captain Isabella, pointing out areas that you think they should concentrate their pit traps on, redeploying some little sniper nests from one roof to another roof, and other stuff that you guys talked about, that you wanted people to do. About an hour goes by of you guys doing that, and Isabella sending runners to go give out the orders. As you watch a small cart roll up with your companions that left, that appears to have a bunch of hooch in the back.
Guys, we didn't win yet. Why are you bringing the party?
No. This is the stuff that we're gonna use to blow the camp up.
Yes, this is
One of them is going to be.
a different kind of party, I suppose.
Yeah, Cortanis, you still got to drink one.
No,
shall
she's
avoid
fine.
this.
She's fine.
That's a good attitude to make people drink. Anyways,
Enough.
you got
Maybe.
what we need, right?
Think so.
Yeah, we got. I mean, if we're.
It
I
sets part
estimated
of
to
a
see.
lake on fire. It shall do quite nicely.
Yes.
Father, you okay?
No, I'm shit faced.
Yeah, he took one too
You're not
many.
supposed to drink it, mate.
We were not being rude to our host who gave us a deal.
What, he make you drink a bottle?
No, he only took 2 shots.
What the fuck you mean you only took 2 shots?
Yeah. You know what?
He hands you. He grabs one of the bottles, holds it out in front of you, and uncorks it right under your face. And as he does, the smell just hits you like you walking into a brick wall.
Jesus Lord. What is that?
That's the
It's-
stuff that's gonna blow the camp up.
It smells like
it's
that.
perfect, but
That is
what
extremely
the
flammable.
fuck?
Yeah, it's like 300 proof grain alcohol.
Yeah, this is what happens when wheat goes
Oh my
bad.
God. Did you have a liver before? Because you don't now.
Father may need some of thy clerical powers, Zertan.
No, I'm fine. I have to get the strategy out quick. All right, so if everybody insists on coming with me to the camp, I got one for each hand. That's the plan. The other ones we're gonna leave here because that lighting the lake on fire is a pretty good idea, and we're not gonna burn the fields. But if they get into town on like a city street, we could always throw it at them and light that on
Molotov
fire.
cocktails. Yeah,
Yes.
I like it.
Yeah, Molotov cocktails.
Molotov?
I like it.
How many will you be taking with you? Isabella asks.
Well, I did the math. It's 2 per hand, and then I estimated over that. So Sayo gets 2.
Well, it's
2, 4,
one per
6,
hand.
8. You said it's a single finger hook jug.
Yeah, that's 2 gallons each.
Yeah, so 4 gallons per body.
If you want to move at your normal speed, you'll only be able to do 1 in each hand.
All right, yeah, that's fine. I was
That'll be
shit
fine.
faced.
I'm just saying. But she says that that alchemist kid from 1st Battalion. I can have him get to work making these cocktails you speak of.
Yeah, it just needs a little bit of.
That's a good idea.
If you have a plunges wick for detonation, or you could just use a rag that you soak in the stuff and then walk it, light it, throw it.
I'm sure he knows what to do with it. And she has a couple of her shields. She has you take off what you're going to use from the cart, and she then has them take the cart off to, I believe his name was Danvers, we said?
Yeah.
Or Crockett or something like that. I don't remember.
Danvers Crockett.
This is our last
Like
stand at the Alamo,
private-
boys.
Private Crockett.
Perfect.
King of the Wild
so
Frontier, that one.
perhaps he'll be able to put together some Molotov cocktails for you guys while you're gone. So she looks Fike up and down and says, "Are you guys planning on leaving today to go scout?"
Perhaps once
Sooner the
Father
better.
hath recovered a bit.
I'm fine. I feel great.
Erdan,
He looks
couldst thou
fine.
attempt to help him?
I think maybe we should wait today.
I don't have.
We got so much more we gotta do. We
I
got.
only have healing, so I don't really think I could pull the
We gotta
toxins
buy
out of his body.
snacks.
Oh.
We
Do you
gotta.
not have restoration spells?
We gotta kiss the babies.
Let him
All
see.
right, let's go,
Yeah.
Fike. I'll pick Fike up and throw him over my shoulder.
Oh, you're strong.
Yeah, I know. And all right, I'll be right back. And I will take him and I will forcibly make him go to sleep.
2 coffee.
Perhaps some water would be a first start.
Coffee.
Um,
I assume Doctor just heads butt me until I go to bed.
Just
Just go to bed.
Face palm.
Yep.
it's like that scene from Age of Ultron where he's just like, go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep.
Yep. Are you asleep?
I still think we should head
Well-
out right now.
You can head out right now. He seems well enough.
They'll look after him. He'll be fine.
Well, why not? No better time than the present.
I mean, I can't imagine they're within 24 hours of the village. You probably have a bit of a ride ahead of you before you're going to reach that camp. Should
Right.
give him enough time to sober up. Perhaps you'll be able to use this, actually. And you watch as she walks over in the tent over to a chest, and she opens it up, reaches in, fumbles around with some stuff, and pulls out and walks back over to you and hands you a. You recognize it instantly, Noxus. It's like a looking glass, like a telescoping looking glass.
Oh, I know what these are.
Perhaps you can assess them from a distance before going in, she says.
That sounds like an excellent.
I wish you the best of luck. I don't take any unnecessary risks. We're going to need you on the day.
She'll try to keep
Isabel.
in line.
She kind of looks at you, Cortanis, and says that, yeah, keep an eye on these clowns, please. Like, doesn't say that, but like gives you a look like, you know.
Gives a return look like, oh yeah, so far so good. We'll try to keep it up.
Yeah.
Hands full always.
Yeah. And she, the horses that you guys used to ride to the knolls are brought back up. And they're brought up by Shango, actually. Who comes over to you, Cortanis, and says, I've gotten into a bit of a project with this alchemy guy who's making things. We used to do a similar thing in the Arashari, so I think I might be able to help him with this little concoction. So there's other things I thought I could help with and stay back while you guys did this. I'm not good with sneaking around and such, so.
Understood, my lord. 'Tis best to stay here anyway. We shall return
There's
as
much
soon as
preparations
possible.
that need doing, and it's been too long since I worked with my hands. Always relying on magic for things is lazy, as Lady Keyleth put it.
Understood.
And he hands you the reins to the two horses that he's been leading up here, and kind of claps you on the shoulder and turns and heads off.
Take the reins, like calm, like keep the horses. And then look back over the other two. So, what doth thou wish me to do in this plan of thine?
Help them set up the bombs. Or the explosions, or however you want to do it. I don't know how you get this to explode.
Understood.
Or how we could get these to explode, but I'm sure you'll figure out a way.
Well, I would say that fireball against all of them at once would be quite helpful, but if thou art using another spell at the time, or was the intent to first cast a fireball and then this other spell?
Well, I think now we need to kind of figure out how to do this step by step. And I would say that we're kind of walking and talking as we're coming up with this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you guys hop on the horses and head south?
If everyone's in agreement.
Yeah, that's fine.
I don't want to say we're doing something if no one wants to, so.
I'm asleep and I would
Yeah,
like to ride though.
Yeah, we
No,
really
no,
need to
no.
like
You're
get.
on the back of the horse.
Yeah,
You're on the
fight
back of the
across.
horse. Don't you worry.
Yeah.
You're on the back of the horse.
Yeah, he can get on the back of Cortanus' horse and just
Yeah.
like, because she at least knows how to handle the horse well enough with two people probably.
Ooh, snuggles.
No.
I can always fog cloud when I get into the tent to distract them for you to set up the bombs, and you could just fireball them. And I'll sneak out the fog cloud. Use a dagger to pop a hole in her tent.
Well,
Sneak out the back.
yeah, but how are you gonna get all the way to the main tent?
Perhaps we should first see how large the camp actually is.
Well, I mean, if there's thousands of them, it's gotta be pretty big.
Yes.
It's definitely gotta be bigger than Durst.
The plan was to give myself up. So if they just kill me on the spot, you just walk away. But I doubt they're going to. They seemed intrigued with us.
Yeah, but wouldn't they know that we killed their subordinates?
Oh, do they? Do they know they're dead?
They never
Because
came
they didn't get
back.
away.
No.
They never came back.
Two got away.
Wait, did they?
Oh
The
yeah, the
ones-
two
Oh, that's
yeah,
right.
those two guys flashed away or used
Yeah.
a spell, right?
So yeah,
Never mind. Reverse on that.
yeah, we would know that.
Maybe.
So they would know, and they would know that we betrayed them, even when we said we would join them.
Carrick and Donver.
So I don't know if that
We
trick's
shot
gonna
not be
work
fooled
second
twice, most
time.
probably.
Yeah, and Groot, if it is a she, right?
They seem to always refer to her with female pronouns.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
And I mean, if she's amassed many people to stand behind her, she's not stupid.
I get that, but I
Okay.
don't think sneaking around the camp to set up a bomb is a great idea. Distractions gotta always give you a better chance to sneak around.
I mean, you're not wrong. It's just trying to come up with a good distraction that's gonna work.
Yes, this is not about
Well,
setting up an
I'm gonna do
explosion
my
at the
idea whether
center.
you like it or not.
Erdan,
So
listen to reason. We do not need to lose anyone here. Perhaps we can come up with a different idea than going straight into this camp, or some...
you're not going straight into the camp. I'm going straight into the camp.
Why all of a sudden a death wish?
Why is it a death wish? Why can't you just trust me for once?
I do trust you.
Right,
I'm
because I don't trust you, but I have good reason. So the conversation's over between us.
listen. All right. Oh, and I will stop, and I'll say, and I'll get off my horse, and I'm like, all right, and I'll pull out the pistol, and I'll pull it, and so the handle's facing him. Like, all right, if you got a problem with me, so much that I'm a pirate here. It's got one shot. Just do it.
I just keep walking away from him. I ignore him.
I'm in front of your horse.
You're in front of my horse. I
Yes.
wheel my horse around you and just ignore you.
Cortanus is gonna go around in front of him. We are not losing anyone right now to foolish ideas.
Not a foolish idea.
Well, if
It
you don't want to
is a
listen to
foolish
us,
idea.
then it is.
Oh, so since I'm not listening to you guys, you've had such great ideas this whole time that I'm so wrong because it's not your idea.
No,
we
right?
are
That's
coming up with
exactly
a
what you
proper
said to
idea
me.
now.
No, it's you're not taking. You're basically just saying that we don't matter. You're gonna do it regardless. That's not smart.
It shall not
That's-
help
that's
anyone at Turst.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's gonna make things
You
worse.
need a distraction. I'm giving you distraction.
Tis not
And
a
I agree
distraction,
with
tis
you.
suicide.
I'm not suiciding. This is the point of trust me. I have an idea.
And what is the idea? Tell us.
I can't tell you, or it's not gonna be legitimate.
How does that make sense?
I doth not understand.
Just let me know. Makes sense to me, and I don't want to tell him because I don't trust him.
Then who do you trust from us?
I don't know anymore.
Then why are you still here?
Good point. I don't know. Maybe because I want to protect the town.
Then allow us to all protect it together and trust us and long enough to tell us.
I'm not trusting him. I refuse to trust him. He's lied to me this whole time.
Then tolerate us long enough to get through this together.
Yeah,
Then-
you'll tell Fike, and Fike lied to you too.
Fike's asleep. You want me to say that I don't trust him too? Yeah, I don't trust him too. Is that what you need to hear? You feel better now?
No,
I already said I didn't
don't.
trust any of you. I just don't
Not
trust
enough.
you more, pirate.
We are not going to get anywhere by bickering amongst each other, especially now before we are about to enter a camp of the enemy. So if thou would stop acting like children and simply speak to us as adults, we can get through this, and we can protect Terst. I intend to return to my lord alive, so that I can continue to protect him. Right now, I'm protecting all of you.
Okay, here's the plan. I wrote down our map. I'm gonna go in there, act like I'm gonna give it to her. You make a bomb. I throw it in the fire. She doesn't get it anyway. It's a good little string for her to want me to come in. Because she'd love to see a little map of our town that we are protecting and know every little defense.
And we doth know that they may already know that we hath fooled them before. What makes thou think that she would believe thee? Enough to
'Cause I
come
have-
herself.
I have a photo proof. She can see it before her eyes before I throw it in the fire.
Photo.
She doesn't. I doubt she has photographic memory where she's just gonna remember where everything is.
What makes thou think that they shall not simply kill thee on the spot and take it?
I won't let that happen. Listen, you may not trust me, you may not like me, but just like you, I had good reasons. You may not believe it, and you may
Just
not
like
care.
me?
And just
What do
let
you
me
mean?
fucking talk.
No,
I've let
no.
you talk
I don't
about who
care.
I am and who my
I don't
character
care.
is, and I've not yet said one thing.
Or
I
Dan,
will
let's try not to do the crosstalk.
Yeah, my bad.
Well, that,
You may not.
yeah. Go ahead.
You may not like me. You may not trust me. But I will make sure you are not dead by the end of this. And that is it. Because I do trust you, and it is a good plan, and I will do it.
All right then, we're in agreement. Let's keep moving and stop talking.
Fike, you come to consciousness, shaking pretty heavily, hearing raised voices.
There it is.
Katanas, out of all due respect, you smell very nice.
Welcome back to the world of the conscious, Father. Just like very kind of jarred by after the whole thing. We have work to do. And there are still things to discuss past this plan. Such as how we are going to deliver these. And she's pointing over to the jugs that they have.
Yeah.
Do you mind stopping? One, I'm going to throw up, and two, the horse is bouncing me up and down.
A moment, I pray thee, and then she's gonna stop her horse.
Oh.
So
Oh,
make
boy.
Fike, make a Constitution saving throw.
Oh, the only constitution I want to fail.
This is just a straight 21.
Jeez.
So you guys are able to come to a stop off to the side of the road, and Fike, you're able to hold in your vomitous
Expedus.
expedus until after you get off the horse and go off to the side of the road a couple
Thank the
feet.
fucking gods.
And you guys hear a "Bleh," and the sound of bile coating the grassland ground. As you do, you realize in your heated conversation you hadn't noticed how dark it's gotten. You've probably been traveling for several hours at this point, and it's starting to get dark out, and you realize that you're just heading south. You don't really 100% know where Groot is, because presumably she's on the move.
Should probably be camping out at this point.
But it's getting pretty dark out, so you guys ride another like 10 or 20 feet down the path away from where Fike threw up, and then you begin to start setting up your camp for the evening.
Tie up the horses carefully.
Is my drunken stupor counted as a short rest or a long rest?
No, it just so happens that you guys it's time to rest anyway. So,
You don't actually get sleep when you're drunk.
yeah,
Fucking
you're
says
yeah.
you.
Your
Did
rest
Shango
is
give us
getting
the
rid of
rod,
the
by the
alcohol
way?
from your system.
That's
Yeah,
pretty
your
much what
rest
it
is getting rid of the alcohol from yours. You don't
So
actually
you're still
benefit
you're
from.
still exhausted when you wake up.
Well, no, he'll benefit from this rest, but
Yeah,
him,
exactly.
yeah.
Did Shango give us the rod?
He did not. You guys never asked him for it.
You still have that drifter globe?
Yeah, you do. It's yours. And you have firebolt too, so it's not like we don't have somebody that has fire.
Yeah, that's
And Seau's got his
Scorching
glove,
ray.
his scorching ray glove, his glove of blasting.
Yeah, we could just make a trail and then light the trail. We don't have to use fireball.
Technically
quite hon-
speaking, yeah.
in
Technically
me.
speaking, yeah.
Because quite honestly, like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to walk in with Erdan unless I'm going with him and lying with him and then grabbing him and leaving. That's the only way I'm going to get close to you without using.
No, I said I'm gonna use fog and go out the back door.
But I thought you said thunderstep earlier.
Yeah, that was the first idea, but like that's not gonna work if you're throwing fireball.
Well, that's what I was saying. I was saying I can just use 2 of my thundersteps to go in and out and then run.
I don't know about this whole having 2 people going.
Yeah, that's
I don't know if that's really gonna work because one person's unthreatening, 2 people are starting a party here.
exactly.
You guys are all talking, sitting around the campfire.
I mean, I can lie pretty well and make it so they can believe that I want to help. But it'll make things harder, for sure.
The fire serpent. Seau. I just watched that the other day, by the way. It's such a good movie.
So we need us to get these jugs into strategic positions. Perhaps the father and I seem to be quiet enough. I could perhaps aid with and reach for a bow. Perhaps if an arrow or 2 could be ignited, could strike one.
Do we know about the trebuchets?
Do we know
Is
about
that
the what?
canon? Is that meta?
What?
What
I can't remember.
trebuchets?
Yeah, what?
Okay, never mind. Never mind.
We don't know if they have trebuchets.
Yeah, we don't.
Because I was trying to think of good spots to
Like, we know that
go
they,
after.
Seau
don't
kind
know
of
what
pipes
they-
up. Seau kind of pipes up and says, "Maybe we should wait until we actually see the camp before we."
Nah.
Yes. The father and I could
Because
both
Seau's a
scout the
fighter and
camp
a soldier.
first. Before anyone enters it, we can scout
Also,
the
you-
perimeter.
Not for nothing, but you gotta find the camp first.
Yes.
yeah.
Just saying.
Once we find it, yes. Right now, our plan contains many ifs. I suppose the term is.
Well, then
All
let's
right,
just
then does
find
everybody
the
have any
camp.
rags they're not using?
I'll take out my set of common
Your set of
Taz will,
what?
like, roughly take out her handkerchief.
clothes.
You have a set of common clothes that you're not wearing,
Yeah, because I'm wearing studded leather armor.
which goes over your clothes.
Yeah, you're not naked underneath your armor.
Yeah.
Yes, I am.
You chafe. Oh god, the chafing.
The chafing.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I have pierced nips and I'm wearing chainmail. That definitely is a good
Oh
combination.
no,
what?
no, no! Because I
What the
bought
hell?
traveler's clothes. So yeah, I do have a set of commoner's clothes because I am wearing.
Oh, so you do have a set of common clothes that you're not using.
So
Do you
I will
mind if
delete
I,
that from my inventory.
I'm gonna cut these up.
Yeah,
If you
that's why
don't
I gave
mind.
it to you. Yeah, that's why I
All
gave
right,
it to you.
just making sure. I don't want to. I don't want to assume. It's rude.
Yeah, because makes asses out.
I'm gonna
I remember that one.
See, she's learning.
Watch I'm saying for the next 2 hours.
That's how old that saying is.
Oh no, they've said it before. That's the other reason. Like she brought it up last time
Yeah.
we said it.
So what are you doing, Fike?
I'm using the fabric to make wicks for the Molotov cocktails because nobody thought of that.
You're making Molotov cocktails?
Yeah, I'm gonna.
No, I thought they were making them
just-
back in the town with the rest of
Well,
them.
yeah,
are.
they are.
It's literally
For
alcohol
us.
plus jug plus gasoline plus a wick, which is a
Yeah.
T-shirt. So
Oh,
it's
also,
not that hard.
I just remembered, like, I have prestidigitation. Like, that starts a spark. Like, you can start a campfire with it. Like, I don't
Mhm.
need fireball.
I got
No, but it's a lot
Only works
cooler
one
if
at
you
a
do
time.
Yeah, I know.
And anyway, Fike,
Lives are more important.
Hold on. What glass bottles are you putting these in?
No, we're just gonna use the clay containers. They're clay, right? They're not like.
I mean, they're hardy clay.
Oh, mother.
They may
What the?
they might not break when you throw them.
Don't we have any more used potion bottles?
I don't think anyone was collecting them.
Yeah, we don't have 8 jugs worth. I can only be the face or the brains of the operation. I cannot be both.
Especially not when Valet drunk.
You just
You know, most people like me when I'm drunk.
you can just pour it on the tents.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
The
You don't have to make
distribution,
Molotovs out of them.
the distribution is much slower. When you're pouring a 2-gallon jug, than it is just to throw a canister.
Well, we don't have canisters.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Not to mention the strength of the odor was enough for us. What wouldst it be to goblins and hobgoblins and...
I assume lovely to them. I assume it smell like.
Fike, roll a d6.
Sure.
You go digging through everyone's pack and are able to find one unbroken empty potion bottle.
Cool. I'll
Hang on. Hang on. Let me look at something quick. Let's see.
I mean, I have an idea, Nux, but you're not gonna like it.
Ooh. Let me hear your idea first.
Your fancy shirt has made a bunch of useful things in the past. I'm wondering if it has any more useful things in it.
Oh, yeah, that's actually what I was
Ah.
looking at. Let me see. Well, I got this one patch I got 2 patches, like these lanterns, and I got some daggers. One's a gem, one's a spell. It looks like a scroll almost. And then I got a couple ones with potions on them. I got a couple dogs. I got some rope. One looks like a stick. And then I got 2 that look like sacks, and that's it.
Wait, you have dogs?
Yeah, there's a patch that looks like a pair of mastiffs.
Yeah, I can't even. I have the greatest idea in the world. I can't say it because I'm a dog lover. I can't do it.
Oh.
Are you thinking about
How dare you?
there's a certain scene from the second season of the Netflix Marco Polo show that they use horses
Yep.
for. And
It's a
earlier in the
donkey
first,
strapped to a dynamite.
basically.
Oh no.
Um,
No, 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 no.
Yeah, I don't like that idea.
set the dog on fire and let him run through the camp. Yeah, that's
I'm good on
So
that.
what we do is
I mean,
we kidnap a goblin and then we set the goblin on fire and have it run through.
I'm cool with
Flaming
that.
goblin on the dog.
That's a cool. Wait a minute. What if no? Because I'm not going to be there for every single one. I was thinking
You know what? I will say that since you were talking about it beforehand, you will have had the wherewithal to have asked Fike, or not Fike. Fike, you would have had the wherewithal to have asked
Wildham.
Shango for the cane,
Oh, the rod, yes.
for the rod.
We kept
So
talking
you
about it,
have-
and then you talked about it in the thing when he wasn't there.
So you have an identify, and there's something else in there.
All right,
But
that
I can't
It's like a
remember.
magic missile, I think.
Yeah,
Mhm.
is
an
a
identify and a
identifying
magic missile.
Ooh,
Yeah.
you could just use the magic missile to break the things.
I
We
need-
throw 'em all up.
assist
we need-
with that as she pulls out the wand of magic missiles.
We need all 3 charges open so we could load it with a fireball from you, Nox. So we need to get rid of that identify, and we gotta.
Nox, you've never actually identified your robe.
Yeah, and then there's also a potion that needs to be identified with a tiny red bead that expands in it.
Oh, right.
So- I mean, I don't know what these things do, but I mean, yeah, we can identify my robe if you guys want to do that.
I think that would be helpful.
I mean, I'm the potion, it's
So,
Just
what?
me.
What?
I would be for just seeing what the potion does. We kind of sort of know what the robe does. The robe kind of, you pull patches off and it makes things. Like I made that big chest filled with silver or whatever. So we kind of
Yeah,
know
yeah.
that
That is true.
whatever the picture is,
mean-
it kind of becomes the picture. So
Yeah, I mean, we can kind of guess what the rest of these do. I got
So-
another patch that's got like mirrors, but I want to kind of know what this potion does, and I'll pull out the potion with the tiny red bead.
Oh, okay. Do you identify it?
I mean, Father Fike's the one with the cane.
Yeah, you're a
No.
now. Or no.
Yeah,
actually, I gave the. It's more fitting to have Cortanus have the staff,
Okay.
the white man's rod, because she doesn't get to use magic. So, and Fike knows that. So you would have given it to her.
Don't believe you have to be a spellcaster to attune to it.
Yeah.
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
Fuck a duck. Fine. Identifying.
So you identify, and that is a potion of, I can never pronounce this word correctly, diminution of shrinking.
Illusion, yeah. Oh.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's a potion of
shrinking.
It's a shrinking
Potion of shrinking?
When you drink this potion, you gain the reduce effect of the enlarge reduce spell for 1d4 hours. No concentration required. The red in the potion's liquid continuously contracts to a tiny bead and then expands to color the clear liquid around it. Shaking the bottle fails to interrupt this process.
Oh,
Fuck
actually-
a duck. Oh,
Oh
Dad,
my gosh.
we have a plan. We have a plan that might work.
we have an exit plan for you.
What?
Is he there?
Or Dan?
Yeah.
Oh, there.
I'm just listening.
So when the
Oh, he's not
time's
speaking
right,
to us. I get it.
you drink this potion and it'll shrink you, and you just,
No, smarty pants. You drink the potion, you get in his pocket, and then you fuck off together.
How small doth one get?
so
It makes you one size category smaller.
so I would be small.
No.
I
You
would
would
be.
So
become
like
a
a
small
gnome
creature.
size, not.
I'd be
Yeah,
like,
You're not fitting in his
Actually, a little
pocket.
bit smaller than that even. He'd be like 2.5 feet tall.
Yeah, so like
Yeah, my
backpack
pocket's not
worthy.
that big.
wait,
Backpack.
yeah. Do you have a cloak? If I just give you my cloak and hide on your back, yeah, would that work?
You can.
Uh,
I mean, You can certainly try.
With thy tail.
Oh, wait. Wait a minute. No, none of that would work. I wouldn't be able to bring him with me. They have to be my size. So if I shrink, he won't be my size.
Well, that's for Thunderstep.
How else would I get him out?
I don't know. I think it's just so he's not going in alone. I think is what Fike was thinking.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm the DM. I'm not supposed to help you guys.
You're not. You're not. You're putting a bunch of. You're not helping us at all. You're making us fight.
Hey, that's your own shit. You can't blame me for your infighting.
Yeah, that's true.
Anyway, so that's what that does.
All right. Well, that's good.
Kind of wish I had Wood. Kind of wish we had Woodenheld here with us. He would have been even smaller if he took it.
I'm just gonna fucking fire off the magic missiles into like, if there's like an owl nearby or something. I'm just gonna shoot it off into the trees.
There's not an owl nearby, but there is this raven that won't shut up. Like, rah!
Yeah. Let's just shoot that real quick.
So you just
Piss off the Raven Queen.
poof. You just watch his like black feathers just poof, go everywhere.
New year, new Meeker Thomas.
Max is pissed. He's like, "What the fuck, man?"
New Fike, who dis?
I don't understand.
Anyway, the stuff on your robe, you assume is there's a dagger patch, a bullseye lantern patch, a steel mirror patch, a 10-foot pole patch, a 50 feet of hempen rope patch, and a sack patch. And then you had some other ones that were randomized.
Yep, I already have them.
You got them all?
Yeah, I have them all.
Okay.
Yeah, 2 doggies, some potions.
Gem.
The gem one is actually 10 gems worth 100 gold pieces each.
1,000 gold right there, baby.
Nice.
Nux, do you mind charging this with your fireball capabilities?
I don't how to enchant shit.
You just focus and release the energy into the rod.
All right, I'll try it, and I will put 2 charges of fireball in it.
I think it's just
Well,
one.
you can only hold up to
level
3
spell.
levels. Yeah, 1/3
Oh,
levels.
yeah. Then I will just put a charge of fireball.
What level are all your spells?
I
Oh.
think they are.
Oh, that's not gonna work.
Let me double check. I think they're 3. I don't have a 4th level yet. Not
Are
sure.
they not? They're not 4th level yet.
I don't know. They might be.
Well, what level warlock are you?
6th.
You're 6th level.
Yeah, I have 3rd. My next level, I get a 4th.
All right. So yeah, so you can put a fireball into the.
God bless you.
Yep.
God bless you.
Yeah, if you leveled up, you would not be able to do this right now.
Motherfucker!
Good timing.
What?
Because all your spells would have been at 4th level, and it can only hold 3 levels worth of spells.
And I already know what I'm taking next.
So you cast the spell into the rod, and the head of the rod changes from its normally dull green glass, the head of the rod anyway, residuum looking top of the rod, and it normally when it has spells in there, it glows a green color. When the fireball goes in there, it starts glowing this dull, like reddish orange color. That thing is pulsing with power. It is chock full of arcane fireballness.
Oh, that looks really cool.
Remind me that I owe Shango like 50 gold for an identify spell. please.
Okay.
He's gonna be upset.
So noted.
I'm gonna make
I-
it be one.
I think I talked to him about it, and he was cool with you guys borrowing it, so he wasn't gonna need it. So
uh,
Yeah. The doctor.
oh god. All right, I'm gonna attempt to make this one Molotov cocktail with this single.
are you proficient with alchemy supplies?
Probably not.
No.
I don't. I mean,
Perhaps
Well-
do the jugs look like they could potentially be shattered by like an arrow hitting them?
They look like they could potentially break if you threw them, but they also look like they might be able to survive that depending on how they land. Like,
Or like if you struck it with like an attack, like shooting an arrow into it, potentially.
excuse me, sorry. Yeah, so like you've held one of those jugs before. Like you could break it if you threw it and it landed on like rock or asphalt or something probably. But if you threw it on your front yard of soft grass, it might bounce. You know.
But if like we
Which-
but if we hit it with something hard like an arrow.
Potentially. It's not going to shatter like glass, is what I'm saying. There's a chance that just throwing it doesn't break it. And there's a chance that shooting it with an arrow doesn't break it. Depends on how much damage you do to it. And you don't know how many hit points it has, air quotes.
Or
Unless you want to test one. Or unless you want to test one. And see how much it takes to break it.
We could.
I mean, let's try it.
all right, I'll go set one up.
Right.
I feel stupid because I got drunk and we fucked up. So I'm like, I feel like shit. I had a really good idea and we had half a plan together, and I'm like, I want to get shit faced, and then this whole plan just went downhill.
Yeah.
Hey, this is sometimes how it happens.
And that's what Graz didn't drink it.
Saren
Well,
Ray
the
is
D&D
teaching
of-
you a lesson in responsibility.
I'm
The D&D
fucking
of life.
responsible. It was unresponsible for telling us to insult our host.
Yeah.
Do not put this on me.
So you take first of all make a alchemy check. So you're just gonna roll and add your dexterity because this is about
So straight dexterity check.
steady hands for transferring the liquid into the glass bottle and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just straight dexterity because you're not proficient with it. So 22 is really good. So you take one of these jugs and you fill up one of your empty potion bottles with even with the fumes making your eyes water. And you use about probably like a third of the jug, dumping it in, and you quick wet a little bit of rag with the moonshine, stuff a little bit of it into the top, cork it up, and you've made a Molotov cocktail.
Dun dun.
All right, we're gonna shoot this
so-
one because it's got less in it. So
Yeah, half empty.
Right.
So you
I'm
set it
gonna
up.
walk a good distance away from the fire and set it
Yeah.
up.
So like you walk over here and like set it on this sort of like ruined little wall there that looked like it used to maybe be part of a sheep paddock or something.
Making sure there isn't anything immediately like flammable that's gonna ignite all the trees nearby.
Yeah. And what are you gonna? He sets it up and it's just sitting there. What are you gonna do to it?
I'm gonna try. We can try. Noxus, couldst thou use thy spell to ignite this, and she'll take out an arrow.
Yeah, sure. And I'll snap.
You light the arrow on fire.
Yep.
All right. Do you you take some of the
Yeah,
some of the ripped up strips that the father made that it's covered in a little bit of the moonshine. You wrap that around the head of the arrow. Noxus, you light it, that same green flame.
green flame.
Come on, you guys are all supposed to do it.
Yeah, right?
Is that what
The
we're doing
same,
tonight?
I don't know what it's from.
It's from
Acquisitions
Acquisitions
Inc.
Incorporated D&D stuff.
Oh.
So that same green-colored flame
Green flame.
Green flame.
lights up at the end of your arrow, and you draw back
Yep.
and fire.
Fire.
Make an attack roll with your bow and arrow.
Come on, longbow. I believe in you.
I mean, it's just sitting there. It's not that hard to hit.
Yeah.
15 hits.
Party
So
though.
you fire it, and the arrow hits right dead center of the clay pot, and it shatters. And the fire hits the liquid, and this whole little area goes up in green flame.
Green
Green
flame.
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 Yes, everyone gets inspiration.
Yay!
Oh wait, no, I don't get. Can I?
Wait,
I'm holding on to
wait.
that non-expiring inspiration.
Right.
Yeah. So you so apparently if you do at least 8 points of damage will shatter these things.
At least say
It might be maybe less than that, but I mean, you hit that thing like perfect.
With green flame.
Green flame.
Not blue flames.
It's gonna get old.
Not red flame.
So we got a plan now, huh?
At least some
We
of
have a
us can.
half-cocked plan made by fools. Yes, we have a plan.
Hey, we're not the smartest, all right? Shango's the smarter one out of all of us, really. So
The first part of the plan is still to scout the actual camp once we find it. And then decide where we need to place these jugs. These
Well, then-
Molotov cocktails.
right. Well then, maybe we should get some sleep then, and start doing watch.
All right. So you guys head off to Gesundheit.
Right, they say.
You guys head off to sleepy time, because that is the official name for it, according to Lyra. So you guys head off to sleep, taking your shifts. You are unbothered by wild beasts throughout the night. You get the sense that the giant ball of green flame scared off
Green flames.
scared off any would-be predators.
And then
That
fight
may
kill
have
the
come
raven.
around.
The Raven.
But
Nevermore.
it's like that scene in the fairly newer, like the one with Johnny Knoxville, Dukes of Hazzard movie, where he's shooting like the gas tanks with the bow and arrow.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that.
The crossbow, but yeah.
Yeah, with the crossbow, whatever it was. And they would go like. So there's like a big enough for it to be like, hey, explosion, but not so big that you're like, oh, I'm worried I'm gonna set the barn on fire.
Gosh damn it, Luke! You set the barn on.
There's a couple of boys.
Yeah, right.
No
Oh, they're definitely rogues. Come on. Anyway, you guys wake up in the morning, mount up on the horses, and what are you gonna do?
Anybody know which way we're supposed to go?
No.
South.
Great.
Do we have anyone with? Well, do we at least get like a sense from their intel heading up to this, like a general area to start searching carefully?
They had them placed about here, like out in the middle of nowhere here, toward the summit peaks. But they were on the move, so they've probably at least about there somewhere in that huge swath of open grassland.
Swath.
Ooh, open grassland. Boy, oh boy.
That makes it even harder.
Boy, oh boy, I was hoping it would be in the woods.
The terrain is very like
Hilly.
Hilly.
like Rohan, right?
Hilly.
Like
Oh, so yeah, it's
plain,
hills.
like yeah, like it's rocky. Like every once in a while you see rock formation,
Yeah.
not like big mountains. It's more like rolling grasslands and hills.
Okay.
Stay in the general area.
That's-
Be careful and slow, and use that looking glass
Yeah.
of mine.
Very, very Dances with Wolves. Rohan combination of the two kind of landscapes.
Well, with that, I will and I will look to see what I can see.
Make a perception check.
Yes.
You see everything.
I see the world.
Yeah.
I see the DM. I see myself. Whoa, I have a beard.
You see all their weaknesses. They died.
You guys watch as Noxus pulls out a little telescoping looking glass, and he opens it up and just starts scanning the horizon. As you do, Nox, you see as you're like scanning the horizon across the south. You kind of go past it and then come back because it's so faint in the distance. Just but curling up over the horizon, you see what looks like a single trail of black smoke.
Hey, look that way. You guys see that? And I'll point in the direction.
It takes you a minute, even with him trying to point it out to you. But as you squint your eyes and look on the very edge of your vision, you see this. What you thought at first might have been just a cloud, but there's like it looks like a black smoke trail ascending into the sky off the horizon to the southwest.
Good job,
That is
handbag.
indeed a start.
Handbag. What the? All right. Well, let's start going that way then.
All right. So you guys ride, leaving the trails, the road behind you, and heading out into the open grasslands of the dividing plains.
Rohan.
Yeah.
Green flame.
Whoa, where?
The dividing plains.
Oh, my bad.
Don't be so quick on the draw there, man.
Diversion flames. Got it.
I didn't even catch that.
Quick
You
draw
need your
over
last
here.
haw, son.
It's high.
Oh shit.
You guys ride for what seems like several hours until just on the edge of your vision, kind of as you're. Are you guys trying to approach this stealthily or?
Yes.
Yeah.
Probably.
Okay. So you guys come up over a hill and then come back down into a little valley area, and you get the sense that if you wanted to, you should probably leave the horses here and maybe someone to hold all their reins, because if you were to come up over the next kind of like ridge line, you'll probably be able to see where the smoke is coming from. And as you've gotten closer now, you can see it is a thick column of black smoke.
Oh, that's a big fire.
Like some sort of structure was on fire, perhaps.
I will take the looking glass and I will take another gander.
Well, what do you like I said, are you guys stopping, getting off the
Yes.
horses and
Yes.
okay.
Yes.
I'll stay here. I'm not very perceptive.
Perceptive? All right, so I'd like those that are kind of like going up to take a look to make stealth checks if they're trying to be
Can also
stealthy.
stay up front and be stealthy and make sure other people fall back a bit. Oh shit.
It's a group check, so all right. So wow, it's a good thing you had the natural 20 with the natural 1.
Yeah.
Because the natural 20 is 2 successes, the natural 1's 2 failures. And then yeah, so they kind of equal each other out. And then so as you guys get off the horses and start making your way up this hill with grass that's probably up to most of your like your mid thigh is how tall a lot of this grass is. And you start making your way up the hill. As you get towards the top, you all or Dan, you're ready to just like march up over the hill line. Noxus kind of grabs you and he pulls you down. And you all kind of like on your stomach, kind of crawl like army crawl up to the break of the hill there. And as you come looking over the top, what you see is what looks like what was a homestead, some sort of homestead. There is pastures off to the left that is many parts of the wooden fence of the pasture are knocked down. There are what looks like dead horses and cows, dead horses in the pen. A couple other like dead pigs. There's not a lot of livestock left. It looks like they may have been taken. Off to the right, there was some farmland that looks to have been scorched. Vegetable gardens and a tanning hut that was burned down. And right in the middle of all of that, there's a what was probably a decently sized 2-story farmhouse that all that's left is the smoldering frame. Most of it is burnt down. There's charred rubble in and amongst the center of it where this column of smoke is coming from. There are all the ground is chopped up as if walked upon by hundreds of booted individuals. There are make perception checks, everybody. Are you using your
Boom.
Noxus?
Yeah.
Oh my,
Haha, Sayo.
Yeah, Noxus, you're taking in all of this. You're getting closer looks at things. You can see there's a lots of looks like the place was ransacked. Like there's stuff strewn about. Anything that didn't look like it was of a value, kind of like left out. What's not burnt. There's a barn off to the right that is oddly enough still standing, though it looks like the doors are partially ajar. And however, Cortanus and Sao, you guys are the ones that also that notice that the barn is. You're the first ones to see the barn. It is oddly like almost pristine and untouched. And the doors are slightly ajar.
Guys, I think
Quietly
you're.
point that out.
But there doesn't appear to be anybody around.
We'll make note of that, like, lock eyes with Sayo for a second, and then gesture that maybe she'll go check quietly and carefully over that way. Like,
Yeah.
around the door.
So lastly, Sao, you quickly notice, especially from your background being a soldier, what looks like it's. I mean, it's not even like they're trying to hide it. There's a huge swath of chewed up dirt where it looks like a bunch of people were either riding on mounts that heads southeast away from the farm. This looks like some sort of cavalry raiding party.
Like, they temporarily were there, or.
They were there. There's nobody there anymore. But there's what looks like this huge line of chewed up earth that leads. It's like not even hard to follow. That leads off to the southeast. That just looks like a line of probably several hundred mounted cavalry rode in like formation that direction and chewed up the earth so much that like the grass got like chewed up and it's like dirt.
They may not.
What?
I think they may have left already.
Katasu's at least gonna still like peek into the barn really quick just in case.
Well, you guys are like 100 yards away
right.
up on a hill.
That's true. Forgot.
The only reason you were getting like some close in details is because Knox has his like
right, the spyglass.
his looking glass,
Hmm.
the spyglass, and it's like there's not a lot obstructing your view at the moment.
We have the direction now.
Check that. Try and follow them.
Oops.
I think it'd be smart to check out the barn at least.
Let's do it.
Alright. Katanas will take the lead on that.
All right, you stealthing over to the barn.
Yep.
The barn.
The bar.
Stealth checks. Stealth checks for whoever's going over to the barn.
I got stealth. I still don't. What the fuck?
Let's go,
Man.
Ardan.
Oh my god!
Dan, aren't you in heavy armor?
You get heavy armor?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, he gets heavy armor.
He's in heavy armor. Chainmail, I believe, right?
Yep.
The jangliest of all the armor.
Yeah. So.
Ching, 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 ching.
Yeah, as you guys. Luckily, you guys are in no way, shape, or form stealthy. However, it appears that stealthiness was not needed as this place is long abandoned. You smell, as you get closer, you can smell the smoke coming off the fire. And even though it's smoldering and not really burning anymore, you can still, even it only getting within like 30, 40 feet of it, you can still feel the heat coming off of where the farmhouse used to be. There's clothes and stuff strewn about. It looks like there's different kinds of clothes that probably the raiders feel were useful that are strewn about. There's several dead horses in the paddock. As you approach the barn, the doors are kind of ajar, not open, but there's only like a slit that's probably about a foot wide. There, that looks like you have to pull them open.
I pull them open.
As you pull them open, inside, you swing the doors open, and you're instantly hit with a look of horror. Hanging from the rafters looks to be about 6 individuals, all of them human. A man and a woman that look to be in their late 20s to mid 30s, and 4 others. A pair of boys that are probably in their teens, 16, 14, and swinging from the other 2 nooses is another younger girl, probably around 9 or so, and a very little boy, probably no older than 6.
I'm gonna walk in, and we need to cut them down and give them a proper burial.
I was just like staring at this and just like white knuckled at her sides.
I'll go and start helping.
Not stand. Like staring at the
Gonna
kids.
start trying to cut them down without harming the bodies anymore. And
As you guys come in, you head over, take out like a dagger to start cutting where the nooses are tied off, and slowly each body falls with like a sickening thud hitting the ground. Those of you who try to distract yourself looking around at other things, notice that any sort of normally a barn like this would be full of stored up supplies and stuff. All such things are completely gone. There's no like sacks of grain or basically anything that could be used by a standing army has been taken. There's no carts or wagons; those have been taken. Perhaps to wheel stuff out of here with. But yeah, it's other than that though, the barn seems relatively untouched. As you pull each of the bodies down, the and you kind of lay them out on the hay in the middle of the barn.
These aren't monsters. This is not a war. This is carnage.
They're Ravengers. What did you expect?
Not this.
This is literally what they're gonna do to us if we don't succeed.
Then we need to find them now and get this over with.
Let's get these guys buried and take off after them.
I think eventually I'm going to start coming down with the horses.
Yeah. After a
You're gonna be
while, not hearing anything, Fike, you come over the ridge, pulling all the horses, and see the same scene laid out. As you bring the horses down and find somewhere to tie them off, you come over to the barn to see them getting down the last of the bodies from the rafters.
Toss is just gonna be like kind of going over there, start dealing with them, and she kind of looks at the 14-year-old a little bit longer than the others, and just kind of frowns.
Nox's will be just like that quiet.
Quiet, angry, kind of vibrating often.
Yeah, like it's like it's like a vibrating frequency. Like he doesn't want to talk.
Is
right
there
now.
a shovel nearby that I can grab and start shoveling graves?
Make a perception check.
I can start digging.
Yeah, there's a spade over in one of the empty horse stalls.
So I'm gonna grab a.
How long ago
those
does
and
it,
just
like,
start
by
digging.
the smoldering, does it seem like they were here?
Make an investigation check.
Black smoke.
18. It's pretty good. You get the sense that it's probably was within, at least within the last 36 to 48 hours. Maybe 72 hours.
And how's the weather been the past few days? Are we gonna lose the train?
As a matter of fact, it's been. You guys haven't had rain in several weeks.
No storms.
Tis for the
Sad day.
best in this case. We can follow the tracks.
But it's been mostly like partly cloudy, sunny, pretty nice weather.
I
gonna,
would say time is of the essence, but they may be 2
It'll-
days ahead or so.
Yeah, it's gonna take you several hours to dig 6 graves.
Doth we have the
I
time
mean-
for that? They aren't going to get ever farther.
Would you like to just burn them?
She kind of cringes, but doesn't say anything.
Wouldn't
Let's
hurt.
we'll put a pin in.
I mean, I'm not doing my pickaxe.
We'll come back.
You take out your pickaxe. That would. I mean, if all 5 of you contribute, you could probably get it done in like an hour or so. But
Yeah.
Let's make this right. Let's make it right. I'm just gonna
Yeah,
start
Nox.
digging by hand.
Same with
Alright.
Nox. Actually, no, he'll pull out his from his Dungeoneer's pack and just start using that.
crowbar.
Yeah.
All right. You look around the barn, Fike, and you're able to find some farm tools. There's like a hoe, so you can at least help soften up the ground. There's a spade. There's another spade you're able to find, and a big like pickaxe. So you guys are able to help each other. You just use like your battle axe almost Sao. And over the course of about an hour, all of you helping each other, right there in the middle of the barn, like on the dirt floor of the barn, you dig 6 graves and fill them back over.
Knox,
Yeah.
what's your mom's name?
Just walk away.
Noxus walks out of the barn.
Knas will eventually follow him.
The horses are tied to what's left of the paddock fence.
Knas will go get them and ready them.
Okay. Fike, it's you or Dan and Sao in the barn still.
Sao, is this the normal operations of your old traveling buddies?
No, this is not really how you guys used to operate, Sao.
Basically straight up right here.
Dan, I know you don't particularly care for me right now, but I'm sorry I lied to you. And I walk out.
Sao, it's you and Erdan standing in the barn.
Well, that's done. Shall we go find them? So you can go say hi to your buddies.
Let's go.
What?
Say that
A
again?
lot.
You can just say bleep it out.
Oh.
Oh, well.
a couple of curse words and
Whoa,
yeah.
we don't need to get
This is a
Christian server.
watch your curse words. I'm still from a church.
It's like watching Firefly. All the cursing is in Mandarin.
Oh my god, yeah. Oh, that's so great. Alright.
That sounds like I was thinking it was going to be like the Reavers and it just like massacre on the ceiling, like even worse than just hanging.
not quite that bad.
I was expecting that.
Almost as bad.
Hmm.
You guys all come out and mount up on your horses and head over to that essentially like 15-foot wide swath of chewed up earth that heads to the southeast. There's just multiple tracks in the mud.
Knas is going as fast as she can. She's just full sweet on her horse. They have a lot of time to make up.
As we're riding, I'll ride next to Father, and just randomly I'll look at him and I'll just say, Haran. Her name is Haran.
Thank you.
What's everybody's passive perception?
13.
Hey, mine is a 15.
14.
14.
Minus?
No, mine is.
Oh, I thought you said minus.
14,
I was like,
14.
I almost did 2 actually.
Sao, is yours higher than a 15?
What, my passive?
Yeah, your passive perception.
Let me see.
10 plus your perception.
It's 15.
15. So Sao, this makes sense actually. You with your soldier's background, and you, Erdan, as you're getting on your horses and you're heading over to that the trail, some of the tracks are humanoid, like boot prints. Many, even more of them, are not humanoid. They look like paw prints.
I'm gonna let everyone know what I found. Exactly how you said it, though. I'm gonna. Hey, look at this. These look like paw prints.
Very large paw prints.
Is that normal to you guys?
Like wolf or like
Creature.
warg or like knoll.
Make a survival check.
Yeah, I'm curious.
Survival check if you'd like to if you'd like to try and figure it out. Mike's like, duh.
Well, I was asking
that's a
questions.
big
I obviously
paw
didn't know.
Them's a big paw print, Eddie.
Erdan and Kurtanis, you guys have seen tracks like these before. So have you, Sao. These are often these beasts are often utilized as mounts by less than savory baddies. These appear to be warg tracks. It would appear that Grood has at least has some warg cavalry forces under her command.
This might be a little bit bad.
As Nox says from the back.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, that's very far away suddenly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I muted myself.
So we heard him through Erdan's mic.
Yeah, I'll just talk loud.
He says, like, in the background, like, God damn it.
Yep, that's exactly
yeah,
what he's doing.
it looks like hundreds of cavalry, warg cavalry.
There's no freaking way we're gonna be able to deal with this. I mean, the Knolls pretty much made us equal with foot infantry, but not this shit. There's no way we can do this.
Probably a unit of cavalry, to put it in mechanics terms for you guys.
And the morale be roughly.
What's that?
And their morale would roughly be
Straight intelligence from one of you, and you can do advantage if somebody helps you, trying to get a sense of the numbers.
I can.
I will assist.
I probably
help.
have the non-negative.
Yep.
int.
I will
Okay.
assist it.
Okay.
So you have advantage, just straight intelligence.
Big bucks, no whammies. Fuck.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
That's a big number. That's a big number.
Cortanus is going 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, wait, no. I have to count in fours. 4, 8. No, that's not right.
The best you can figure out is probably at least the whatever you would have been the equivalent name for a like division, platoon, whatever, for a unit in our little version of war mechanics. Like so,
Cavalry.
probably they probably got more morale than infantry does because they're cavalry. So
Who the fuck is this person?
Warlord of a war god, I suppose.
She's never met the likes of us. Only one of us is underestimating the other one. And that's our advantage. So let's keep moving.
all right, so you guys mount up and head off at a gallop through the following the trail left behind by this massive cavalry. You travel for another day, camping once more away from the camp. If there's any conversations that wanted to be had that night, you let me know. Otherwise, I'll keep going.
Perhaps this may need to be our focus. If we can get rid of any of these wargs.
Well, what else do they
I
have? If they got
Katanas, but
wargs.
it's very dangerous.
If they got wargs, I mean, one, there's no way we're getting in there without them knowing about us.
No.
Those things are nasty, and they can smell us. There's no
Now
way we can sneak
we have a
around.
focus for where the fireballs are going. I can give me a little bit. I could try to figure something out. I have an idea or two, but I need to think on it. So just
Yeah, me too. I don't know.
Yeah, you get the Seau, if he's back. I don't know, but Seau pipes up as having been a soldier. He gets the sense that what that was a raiding party. Essentially, the cavalry, because they are cavalry and can move faster, were sent out to loot. Like as the main force is moving towards Turst, this cavalry is essentially being sent out to raid local farmsteads to keep the army fed and supplied. So the odds that the cavalry will be at the camp is unlikely if they're continually out raiding farms trying to keep the camp fed.
Oh, that's good news. But it just makes me think, if they have that, what else do they have?
that's
Is
what we're here to
we-
find out.
Yes.
I'll be right back. I gotta go use the little dragonborn's room, and I will stand up, and I
What?
will begin to walk away. And Mr. DM,
Yeah.
can you meet me in secrets?
Sure.
Oh shit!
Reverse
It
secrets.
begins. The D&D Beyond. Oh fucking
Oh.
fuck.
How's Cortanis doing after the barn?
Not good.
That's rough. That was very Suntree-esque. That was no bueno.
No. Yeah. Oh, she wants to cut the fuck out of Groot.
Flake, I believe you made a mistake. I am a whirling dervish of blades and death.
Yes. Oh. Slash her heart out. Oh my god. So what? This again. I've never really played Risk. I'm terrible at Risk. I'm terrible at Wargame. How the fuck do we deal with this? I feel like I should know better how to deal with cavalry because fucking Cavalier.
I have a few plans, so I'm working on something.
Yes. Nice to know.
I gotta think it all out before I tell it to you guys, but I have an idea.
We might not have. Well, I don't know. It depends on how much time we have. Oh. Well. Fox is gonna go full Tiamat.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
At least his heart's in the right place.
Yeah.
Just not his patron. So how many backup characters does everybody else have?
At least one.
God. Vote Liam O'Brien for president of D&D Beyond.
Yeah. So,
Yep.
well, that happened.
Minor technical difficulties. I couldn't find Jeff. Yeah, that was a long pee.
Insights.
Yeah. What?
Make a deception check, Noxus.
Yeah,
Like make an insight check.
Insight. Oh fuck! Yeah.
Fike, honestly, he does drink a lot of water.
That's true.
Cortanus, you join me in secrets.
Oh shit. Mm-hmm.
There's a look of determination on his face that you haven't really seen before.
Okay.
That's kind of all you get.
Okay. Doth thou know something that we do not, Noxus?
I've been pretty upfront with you guys. What are you referring to?
Wait, what?
No. Nothing. 'Twas a different look about thee now.
Well, let's just say, seeing a whole bunch of dead bodies really fucks up with your head, and seeing it again brings you back to it. So forgive me if I don't really want to talk about it.
No, that I understand entirely. Just like cringes slightly when he said the dead bodies, but looks down and nods.
Yeah, you're like, you remember his city's history suddenly, and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
it's
At least what
probably
he told about it, yeah.
yeah, that's probably not the first time he's seen dead kids before.
Yeah. She totally understands that.
Mm-hmm.
Or siblings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again.
Yep. And there's a point of connection actually there. You can see a genuine look of empathy on Cortanus's face, Noxus, though you're distracted by your want for justice at the moment. Anyway,
Call it justice. Call it vengeance.
you guys wake up in the morning and head back out onto the trail at a full gallop. And about halfway through the day, you don't even have to make a perception check. It's completely obvious, and it's not even a little bit hidden. You see several lines of smoke coming up out of over the horizon, um, slightly slightly off to the north from where you're heading.
That is where we will head.
Well, but what do we do once we get there?
As you continue riding towards the lines of smoke, you see what is. You've seen several of these like rocky formations that kind of come jutting up out of the ground and through the dividing plains. Almost look with a look to them of like ancient seismic activity of just like pieces of stone shot up out of the ground but have like grass growing over it. This is much larger than you've seen of that so far. There appears to be, because it appears you've kind of come in from around from behind the camp, and there's a large rocky outcropping that you think you might be able to hide in and amongst and get a good view of the camp from a slightly elevated position.
Point that out and Katanas look carefully head that way.
She'll probably have to leave the horses behind.
Yeah. Do that.
Is there a place to tie them off?
There is a small cluster of trees at the bottom of this rocky outcropping.
Okay.
And we're looking down on the encampment or up at the encampment?
Well, no, there's a rocky outcropping that you'll have to climb up to be able to look down on the encampment.
Okay.
I will kind of motion everybody over and kind of put my hands together for a boost up to help people start climbing.
All right. Stealth checks from everybody, please.
Katanas and Fike should probably go first.
You want Fike and Cortanis to sneak ahead?
At least that would be what you'd bring up.
Yeah. We're
Well, it's up to you
very-
guys. What are you doing?
I was just going to assist people start climbing.
All right. So I'm not hearing anybody say yay or
did I
nay.
hit-
So
I don't really know what to do in this situation because we've already a couple.
Yeah.
Allow the father and I to go ahead, and then we can motion the up if we see something specific.
That's fine.
all right. So you're still gonna give them a boost up, Noxus?
Yep.
All right. Stealth check, Fike. 23. All right. With Noxus's help, he gives you a boost up into the rocky terrain, and you climb your way up. It's not much of a climb actually, until you get to a part where it's more of like walking up a path. As you kind of crawl up over to the top of a little ledge, the entirety of Grood's war camp comes into view. As you guys are up over here.
Where are we?
You guys are up over here,
The upper right-hand corner.
upper right-hand corner.
Oh, biscuits and gravy. That's a little tense.
Yeah. As you guys make perception checks for me. You two.
Ugh.
Fuck!
Fike, 17. So Cortanis, you're just kind of in awe of the amount of tents here. And the amount of forces walking around and all the different campfires that are lit all over the camp. There appears to be these portable towers that they've placed at strategic points each at Fike and Cortanis. At this point, Fike, Cortanis, you're just in such awe of the numbers that you're just kind of like trying to take everything in. Fike, you start noticing smaller details, remembering why you're here. In particular, there's these portable guard towers, it appears, that they've brought or constructed with them that appear to have these like in place like large crossbow looking like miniature ballistas attached to the top of them. And they are kind of peppered throughout the camp. There's one really large tent on the far end of the camp, which, as you imagine, is probably Grood's tent, as it's the biggest, and it has a flag flying over it. There are two smaller but still bigger tents, one over here and one over here. As you're looking around, you notice that over in this section, there appear to be a lot more humanoid races. Humans, half-elves, half-orcs, dwarves, you get the sense that that section might be the Crimson Blades section of the camp. The old mercenary crew that Sayao used to run with. And then over here is it's hard to tell. That area has actually got some decent cover with the trees. And it's a bit farther away, so it's hard to pick out individual faces and stuff over there. There also appears to be patrols walking through and about the camp. And this isn't every square here is 10 feet, not 5 feet.
Is there any semblance of where the wargs might be penned?
There do not, as you look around, appear to be any
Cavalry
semblance
here?
of cavalry here at the moment. No, they're probably, as
Out.
Sayao suspected, out raiding.
I'm just gonna.
Probably doing to another homestead what you've already discovered that they do to homesteads.
Yeah, I'm gonna just very softly elbow Cortanas and point out the things that I noticed, and then I'm gonna look at her and just go, "Sure, you want to go in there with me?"
Right now, absolutely. Everything that we can learn and we can do to this right now is something that they shall not be doing to Turst.
All right. Oh, I hope your canteen's full. 'Cause we're not moving for a while. Yeah,
What was that, robot?
Yeah,
What
you
was that,
robot.
Mr. Robot?
Am I roboting? Am I
No,
roboting?
you're not.
You did.
Oh.
Nah,
You
you're
did.
not.
I'm gonna slowly start to army crawl backwards towards the ledge that we crawled up,
Okay.
and I'm gonna go. It's fucking huge. Yeah, it was,
How big are we talking?
uh, it's immeasurable, but we need to study patrols and I have a plan to mask our scent, which nobody's gonna like. So let's come on, let's go take a look.
All right. Stealth checks again for everybody now, except for Cortana, so she hung back and stayed and kept an eye out. But stealth checks.
God damn it, we need message so fucking bad.
Yeah, we really do.
That's pretty good. Noxus, it's not great.
At least
For
not an absolute
Dan,
one.
Sayao.
There you go.
Okay.
Keep forgetting disadvantage.
It's not terrible. You have to really kind of guide them along, Pike, but you are able to get them back to where you met with Cortana, where you were with Cortanis. It's an area up on the rocky part that's got some pretty decent foliage cover. If you're lying down prone, it should cover you pretty well. And you guys are all essentially right here, looking down at the camp. So as you kind of come up over the ridge, Sayao, Erdan, and Noxus for the first time, and look out over this sea of tents and campfires. The first things that jump out to you are the bigger tents, the guard towers, and you kind of turn to Fike and Cortanis, who've already scoped this out, and they kind of start pointing things out to you. But there's patrols walking all in and throughout the camp. There does not appear to be any sign of that warg cavalry, though.
Nox, can you use your spyglass, possibly see what's in that farthest tent?
Yeah. And I will
Make a perception check.
Would it be with advantage?
No.
Just asking.
The spyglass allows you to make this check from such a far distance away.
Makes sense.
16, not bad. So specifically, looking over at the main tent over here, you line it up in your spyglass. You can see there's several campfires around it, multiple tents, and in and around all the tents, all appear to be these huge, enormous, strapping hobgoblins, all wearing what looks to be a little bit better armor than most of the other forces in this camp. This appears to be probably closest to her Grood's tent, her elite guard, probably. They all have appear to be wearing fairly finely made plate and half plate. All of them carry great swords and other weapons. Next to, on either side of the tent, you see the large guard towers with these large, too big to be a crossbow, too small to be a ballista, sort of like encamped, emplaced weapons on these towers, operated by it looks like it has to be operated by a couple of goblins. But they're up in these towers. And there also appears to be at all times guards at the entrance to the tent on either side. A pair of these elite guards that she apparently surrounds herself with. At this moment, you see the tent flap fly open, and striding out in resplendent, almost samurai-like plate armor, is this mountain of a woman, female hobgoblin, with jet black hair up in a kind of top knot on the top of her head. Slung across her back is a large round shield, on the face of which appears to be a snarling hobgoblin warrior. To her side, you see an ornate, an extremely ornate scabbard with a bejeweled sword hilt emerging from it. Her face is stern, and her forearms are as look like tree trunks. What little are exposed from underneath her bracers. She steps out, kind of having to lean down to get out the entrance, and when she stands back upright, you see just how big she is. She has a stern look on her face. She points around a little bit. You see her mouth move, and all of the hobgoblins around like instantly stand up straight when she comes out. And she makes a couple of barks a couple of orders out as people start to hop to, getting busy with tasks. She kind of turns back towards the entrance to her tent. Her orange furry skin, shining in the sunlight, as she kind of gives one last look around, scanning the horizon before she disappears back into her tent.
I relay everything that I saw, kind of like through my teeth, angrily.
A few minutes later, you watch as a slightly and wearing more lighter leathers and robes, a male hobgoblin, shorter, more slender, longer, a little bit not longer. That's not a word. More lithe looking, with a quarterstaff at his side, walking, and you can see that there's several scrolls attached to his belt. He has long jet black hair that is tied into a tight braid at the back of his head. As he has a large scar that goes down the right side of his face that goes through his right eye, that there's an eye patch over. And he comes to the front of the tent here, and the two guards instantly reach and grab the tent flaps and open them up, and he disappears into the tent.
I relay what I saw for him.
He had what looked like some sort of wand attached to his belt.
Did suspect they would have a caster. At least one.
That's how the other ones got away.
Precisely.
As you scan over to what Fike pointed out might be the Crimson Blades section of the camp, you see a pair of familiar faces patrolling through their section of the camp. You see Carrick and Donver. as they stop and talk to a couple other humanoid mercenaries in various states of. They look like a motley crew of assholes, but there's a veteran look to all of their eyes.
Hey, assholes we
As
got on the
they
ship anyway.
as they make their way about the section of camp, checking in on each tent. Eventually, they make their way back to the large tent, where they meet up with another gentleman who comes out of that tent.
This tent.
Yeah, you see a dark-haired man wearing a black jacket with a crimson inlay, leather gloves and boots, lightly armored, with a long sword on his hip. He's cleanly shaven, and his hair is kind of greasy. And he looks to be the one in charge of the Crimson Blades.
Okay.
Um,
And obviously, I'm just relaying everything you're saying.
Sayao, the description is it's obvious. That's your former captain, Tyrannus.
Right in the nose, that one.
Captain Dominic Tyrannus.
He's obviously a Democrat.
What? You
No, nothing.
roboted again.
You
Nothing.
roboted again.
It was a dumb joke. Don't worry about it.
Oh.
He is Koopa.
Yeah. A couple hours later.
Oh, bitch got to die. Dom's got to die.
You are anyway. Not a couple hours later. Sorry. That's what you get from a good scan of the camp.
Do I in the top left?
What about it? That tent?
Yeah, did I look
That's where that male hobgoblin came from.
the one who had the scrolls and the staff?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, guys, we better have a really good plan or we're all gonna die. This is as real as it fucking gets.
Oh, mistake, literally. So.
You're roboting again really hard.
Again? Really bad?
Yeah,
It's
now
like
you're okay.
it's
Yeah.
only like when you first start talking.
Yeah. All right. My plan's gonna stink literally, which I think you guys are gonna hate me for.
I'll be right back.
Why?
Because there's only one way to make sure the wargs don't smell us.
The wargs aren't not here right now.
They're going to be when we attack at night. And
Then maybe we shouldn't attack at night. But that would be stupid. Never mind.
yes, that would be stupid.
That'd be really stupid.
To
Sorry.
remind me, I act as a human. I have not the vision for the darkness.
Well, we're gonna be lighting it up, but when we walk in there, we're gonna try to be sneaky about it. But the point is that the wargs are, I assume, because of the reek coming from this camp, is that they're not gonna be very perceptive to shit. So, we smell like them. We're not gonna raise.
Cortaz just gets visibly more. The more he goes on. Please don't tell me. I was honestly thinking that if they managed to get to Turst, we could use the, and she like points towards one of the jugs, to mask sense in the area.
So that's a very aggressive scent. You wanna mix. You don't wanna stand out, right?
No, but I mean within the actual scenery, not people, but to simply distract them from any specific scent with an overwhelming one.
Oh, so you want to throw their scent off? That's not a
Correct.
bad idea.
At least in the battle ahead.
I mean,
Lacing
yeah, we
the
could focus
area.
on that. But hey, how about we, no, not to be a dick, but I want to figure out how we're gonna survive this so we can
Yes.
get to that.
Yes.
not try to be a dick or anything, but
No.
a lot of guys.
He's like,
Like
one
I said,
problem at a time.
I'm open to plenty of ideas, but I think our best idea would be to wait till night. We're gonna camouflage ourselves with
Waiting till
refuse, and then we're gonna go do exactly what we need to do.
Which
waiting till night
is
is basically going to just have all those things you're afraid of coming back to sleep.
we
I
may
don't
need
think the night.
to pick our battles here. Perhaps the tower structures, the large weaponry.
Yeah, I mean, our Dan's got a point. Night, they're gonna come back.
Can you stop?
You guys have been kind of talking back and forth for about 30, 40 minutes. And all of a sudden, all of you hear in the distance, boom, 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 boom. Sounds like several explosions going off. You turn and look, and you can see what off the map on the top left-hand corner, and you can see what looks like several dozen mages all shooting off fireball spells at once and carpeting like a large area. Cortanus, you weren't sure that these were still around, but this was a common sight in the military back in your day. This is an arcane artillery.
Oh gods.
Was that what I just thought it was?
As the smoke clears, you see what is essentially several craters on top of each other in the ground, where there were once a bunch of like dummies set up.
What was that?
That was a bunch of people doing what I just did to their band of parties, but on a larger scale.
An entire artillery unit of mages. Gotten worse.
Oh, we're way over. We gotta. I don't know what to do.
That should probably be our target.
That's a very, very good statement.
Are they? Is the arcane artillery inside the camp or outside of the camp?
At the moment, they're outside. They're just outside the camp doing drills. You watch as boom, 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 several explosions go off again, as a few dozen fireballs go off in succession.
I would like to say let's go kill them because that's easy.
I mean, that'll definitely help.
Easy is relative, but I
I
would
I agree. I think that should be our
suggest-
target.
Yes.
That should really be our target. Like, fuck everything else. Like, fuck, I'll fight wargs, but I don't want to deal with that shit.
You watch, turn again, and you watch as several of the unit start lifting up off the ground, flying through the air, and strafing a bunch of more dummies with lightning bolts. Before coming back to the earth and landing, as it appears. After that, they appear to be expended and done with their training for the day as they head back to their tents.
Yeah.
I think we do this now. I think we do this now. I think we should do this now. If they're
At least
spent,
before morning.
Yeah, and they're spent. They just used all of their Wow. Dan, what do you think?
I think we just need to stop talking about this and just go do it.
Do
I
what?
think he says we should just do it.
Do what? Do what's it?
I think we're gonna attack the
I think
the
we're gonna
arcane
attack
artillery.
the artillery squad that's by itself and has no.
Not
They're
in
not
broad
by
We don't
daylight.
know.
Not in
They're not
broad
by
all the way-
themselves. All right, hold on. First of all, the artillery squad is like
Each one of those tents has one person.
there's like 100 of them.
Yes.
That's okay. We can take them.
No.
And they
I believe
just
this.
finished training like maybe 100 yards away from the camp, and then they all walked back and are
Oh,
in this section over here.
I thought you were giving us something easy to do.
No, I
He's
would,
just giving us intel.
I'm giving you intel.
Oh, okay.
You now in game know that they have an arcane artillery.
Oh, all right. I see what it is. All right.
Wait. What if we did this? And this is a stupid idea, but I'm throwing it out there. What if we no? Okay, I'm just gonna say it. What if we got the white snouts to come and help us with this? Because there's obviously a lot more of them than we originally thought there was gonna be, and we can't do this by ourselves, guys. We can't. If you guys got
First
a
and foremost, an
really
intelligence mission.
yeah, if we could do something, we'd do it. But I really don't think we like as soon as one of us gets caught, we're dead. Like either captured and tortured, but we're gonna die eventually, and it's not gonna be fun.
This I agree
They're
on.
not
This
gonna
is
guess.
beyond. This is beyond 5 of us. This is information that we must bring back, and we can't not do that if we die here. Can't not do that if we are captured here.
The only other thing that I can think of we can do is set a. We don't have anything to really do anything with. I mean, maybe we can set a trap for.
Wait.
What?
We do.
What do you mean?
They're looking for the spoils of war, aren't they?
I guess, right?
We got 8 jugs of it. We have 8 jugs of it strapped to our horses.
Okay.
Let's give them the spoils of war. Let's get them piss fucking drunk.
How are you gonna do
That
that
is
with
not enough for all of these forces.
Well, how are we gonna get them drunk?
We're just gonna leave it.
Where are we gonna leave
How
it?
far away from Turst are we right now? Because
2 days ride. As not as the crow flies though.
As the crow flies.
Not as the crow flies because we had to find them. So,
Mm.
2 days ride roughly.
you're muted if you're saying something. Bill.
Sorry, I'm muted. So it took you 3 days to find them, but you had to kind of like go a roundabout way to trail and then come around on them. If you were straight back to Turst, you could probably get back there in a day and a half, 2 days.
And they're
not
waiting
enough
to come to
time.
us. There's no way that they're waiting 2 weeks.
Yes, this is.
Could be if they just got this artillery.
The
Just set the up right, like it's literally like stop for the day.
yeah, it appeared the hobgoblin with the scar on his face that Knox described was their commanding officer. And he went back into that big tent on the top left-hand side of the map.
I think if we could get some outliers, at least, we could do something. We could at least thin their numbers a bit, even
Yeah,
if it's a run and gun. We don't go into the camp. We just fire off a few things and then we fuck off.
What if
But
we took out these crimson? I mean, I know Say'll be all right with that. What if we took them out, or at least a good number of them? Because then that takes away a good part of their ground forces.
Sao, doth thou believe we have a chance with that?
I don't think he's back. Oh, there.
No.
I think he is back. Are you back, Sao?
Or how far are they?
They are over here.
Compared to us, how far away?
They are this.
Right. And we're up top right.
You're up here.
We might have a chance if we all go in together.
How many art in thy former group?
I mean, you said we're right here.
You guys, you guys
up here.
are. You guys are up here.
I mean, from where we are, I can hit them.
No, you can't. Remember, each
Oh,
square
that's right.
is.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's
We're super
technically
far
double.
away.
Yeah.
Super far away. I get it.
Yeah, you're like a couple football fields away.
wait, each square is how big?
10 feet instead of 5 feet.
Oh, okay.
It's not exactly to scale.
And our approach is from.
You guys are up here.
I know where we are right
Oh,
now, but like
okay.
I'm saying, the path into the camp inside this crevasse is from what direction?
Well, I mean, it's grasslands. You're just in this rocky.
Oh,
outcrop.
we're just in this formation.
Yeah.
All right, so it's
And your
all
horses
flat.
are and your horses are on the other side. Well, I mean, it's not completely flat. You can see like over here
Right.
another outcropping, and this is a hill that they're sitting up on.
God bless you. God bless you.
I mean, here's my thinking.
And granted, you could come in from any angle, like if you took the time to go
Yeah.
down, out and around, flank around and stuff.
As the not war gamer, if we could
Really bad
just set off.
I'm not a
if we could
war
just-
gamer either. I just wanted to do something on a big scale. So
I mean, if we could set off those explosions like here-ish, there,
Where's
not getting
I
too
couldn't see any of that.
far. By the artillery tent, by the first
So-
patrol on the hillside.
yeah,
by
by
this.
here,
Oh.
and by here, I believe is what he was saying.
We could at least thin the numbers so we can't call this mission just an intel mission. At least enough to, piss them off.
Well, yeah,
Something.
their numbers is the main.
Yes, but
We're not here to
let's see.
kill an army, but we can upset them.
Yeah, I don't think that distraction is gonna work.
Not with this many.
No.
Not for
This
the
is way
distance
too-
we would need to get.
And I would have to be super try and help anyone get out.
Oh, I told you guys this was a suicide mission, so.
No, this is an intelligence mission. We must return to Turst with this information. This is not.
We gotta at least do something. We're here now, and if we don't do something now, well, maybe if we do something now, it might come sooner. Now that I think about it.
Yes. If they
We might
know
make
we
things
know where
worse.
they are, they may strike sooner rather than later, and Turst needs more time. Especially from this.
We can only buy him more time.
Yeah, but if we don't have our forces and they come now, what good is it? The forces are going to come.
The only forces that could get there within. The only reason we got here so quick is because we were riding. The only forces that they could send instantly after us within 2 days is the cavalry.
Yeah,
Which I
they're
think-
they're on foot. They're walking. They don't have horses like we did.
Then we must return to the horses and be able to get back without the horses being killed.
Good point.
They may be infantry, but they don't have ranged weaponry. She points to those towers.
Yeah, but they're too far away to hit us.
Yes,
They're
but
too far away to hit us right now.
yes, but they are not the only ones. It was simply an example.
Oh,
Well, much like Erdan, regardless of what you say, even though your words are sweet, Katanas, I'm going in there to blow something away. So you could either be on a horse and ready to pick me up, or you guys can start riding back now.
Thou art not
I'm
going
not-
alone.
I'm no good to
Contrary
you
to popular
stealthy.
belief, the only one here expendable is me. So do not force me to. Never mind. What art thou going to do? Let us figure this out. And either way, we must return. At least some of us must return to Turst and tell them about this.
Fair.
Alright, well, let's go with the plan that I came up with, and I'll distract them while you guys go and put your explosives wherever
Blow
you
them up.
wanted to. I'm gonna walk around, come in over here, right to the main tent.
There is no distracting from that. Am I surrounded by fools? This is. We must be more strategic than that. This is beyond. She just leans back and tries to think.
We could just make this an intel mission, go back and hope that we can stop them from killing, just destroying Tess. That's basically what you want to do.
We can destroy something, but we must be more focused than distracting the leader and expecting anything from it besides death.
Our goal is not to kill the leader. She's
No.
deep in this camp. We're just here to thin numbers. We're not here to.
Precisely.
We're not here to end
so
a
any
war.
distraction of such does not go that far. Not with this many.
Is it like grassland, so you could go all the way around?
I mean, you could go all the way around. They still have patrols going though, so you'd have to make
Right,
stealth checks
yeah.
to get around the outside.
Wait, so it's all grassland?
For the most part, I mean, every once in a while you see like these big rocky hills jutting up out of the ground, and that's essentially what you're up on. It's just a much bigger one, and it's allowing you to get like a good view of the camp. But you could go off the map around and like try and stealth around through the tall grass, but you still have to make stealth checks to do so.
Is that crevasse real, or is that just the map?
What crevasse?
The crevasse that is right next to us, where we're perched on.
Oh, wait, oh,
Can't
you
see.
mean
I can't see when you point with your finger.
Oh, sorry, I'm stupid. I'm stupid.
Right there.
I got intelligence at 8. Goddamn right.
Yeah, there's a little path between those two rocky outcroppings there.
What is the tower things made of? It's wood and
Wood and iron
these seem to be like the largest
structures.
weaponry, like, yeah. I mean, like, these are moving like ballista-ish type things, right? Or like,
They're
mobile?
their tower. Yeah, the towers look like they're able to be taken apart and then they get carried with the main army to the next camp and then set back up. And they have like these emplaced weapons on the top of them that are operated by a pair of goblins. That they kind of like can move them around 360 degrees. They look like they look like a crossbow, but it's far too big to be carried around by a person, so it has to be like set up on the railing of the tower.
This is about like the size of the harpoons that we had on the ship that one time, or
Yeah.
Okay, it's one of those
So it's
heavy,
it's
heavy
yeah, it's
crossbows.
exactly.
Like an anti-infantry type crossbow.
Exactly.
I have a question.
Where the heck
Yeah.
did they get that?
You said it hasn't rained.
Hobgoblins are not dumb. They're actually pretty smart.
Dang.
And they're disciplined, and
They're like samurai.
they're very
Kind of mentality.
Roman samurai kind of feel to them. Yeah.
You said it hasn't rained in weeks, right?
Yep.
How dry would you say it needs to be to start a wildfire?
that's what I was thinking actually. The moment, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
like
mean,
how tall is the grass in these areas, or do they like cut it all down? Is it?
it varies. Through the camp, it's pretty trod on by the amount of people that are here. There's definitely specific walkways. It looks like that have been made. But out in the open fields, it varies how tall the grass can get, but it can go anywhere from to your waist all the way to like up to like halfway up your shin bone, and anywhere in between.
I say
I think,
deal with it.
What?
I think that's it.
Start a fire, try to make it look natural, and then have them deal with it, and we can try to take off.
I think that's our best bet.
Don't suppose there aren't any magics that can make it seem as if it is raining, and then mix in the incendiary alcohol.
Anybody a druid here?
Or we can use the alcohol to make the fire, and then just let the fire do what it wants. Instead of putting any magic onto it so they don't know we're here.
Yeah.
It was mostly a way of spreading it out a bit more.
We just
When
gotta
there
pick a
was
place.
the pond
can
was
make
able
it
to be
into-
lit on fire.
Why not spread it out to where the fire starts in different directions heading towards them?
That's what I was thinking. Like you can we have plenty of alcohol. We can make fires in different locations and let them go, and Leah does some damage.
The sun begins to set in the west. It's very pretty.
Probably can't do it at night though,
Why not?
because it's gonna be colder.
That hath no.
What time of the year is it?
Springtime.
But it hasn't rained for a while, but the cold isn't.
Yeah, it's springtime, spring into summer, so it's like April. April, May. It was actually more like late May.
How convenient.
Ish. Yeah, I know. It's weird, but it's the way it works out sometimes.
I don't know about you guys. It's cold as or like, it's warm as hell here right now. So,
I think we should just go with this idea. I think we should just go with it and go with it now because their artillery is spent from what we saw.
Well, we
So
should have the
surround
sneakiest
the
people.
encampments with.
I mean, we got to make a decision. Like we can't just we have to make a decision. Either we leave or we do something.
Out for the fire.
I'm voting
I'm
for
fine
the
with
fire.
the fire. Perhaps an entire ring around this encampment, as much as we can, with the incendiary and then let it go and get out.
That sounds like a really
I
good idea.
think that's a good idea, but we should have the stealthier people go.
Yeah,
Understood.
and then I can use prestidigitation, and then snap, and the fire will light, and it will go slowly, so they won't.
All right. So one person, tell me what is the plan.
Seems to be probably Fike and Cortanus makes a ring, like stealthy ring around the encampment and setting down as much of the
Which
incendiary-
encampment?
like basically wrapping around all of this as much as possible, like the outer edges of all of this with as much, and starting as many like fires as they can, or at least trying to make a ring.
Yeah, I know, but like where in the camp? Again, you guys gotta like indicate on the screen so I can see. Like over here or over
Yeah,
here.
eight bottles worth is not gonna.
No,
Oh,
but
No, you want to get like, want to hit some shrubs here. You want shrub here.
yeah, basically
Probably
like the
should try to
outer edges, starting various like fires.
Okay.
You want to get on the outer edges and some point, so
Yeah.
it'll go in this way. It'll go in this way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and once the fire touches that patch, it'll light up faster, so that it's
Okay.
harder for them
Yeah,
to
and the
put it
tents
out.
will spread it and
Yeah,
stuff.
so like this patch here gets lit up,
Oh,
and
but
then
it's
it spreads
dry.
over
There's
to
no
here,
wind,
and
is
then
there?
that patch is lit up,
There's
and then
there's a
so on and
breeze.
so on.
There's a breeze.
Yeah, and so on
Yeah.
and so on and so on.
There's a wind.
Okay, never mind then.
All right,
Then
so I
it'll-
think that's a great plan.
so
Yeah.
that's what we need.
Let it
Starting as big
execute
of a
it.
wildfire as we can and leaving.
All right.
I'm gonna tuck White Man's rod into my my bracer, so I
Yeah,
have
All
it
right. It's
on
like
hand.
a 2.5 foot long cane.
Oh, fine, I won't do that. Oh God, I fucking this whole night has gone to shit.
I'm just
Make sure you
saying.
put it planted.
So he did that. It looks pretty silly to me.
Yeah.
We can
It
use
looks like
it
he's
as a
got this big
contingent
thing
I
plan.
have
coming
an
off of his
intelligence of
elbow.
8. I know what I'm doing. All right.
All right.
God
So
damn it.
Fike and Cortanus, you guys are going to be stealthing into the camp to lay the alcohol out.
Yep.
What section of the camp are you going to go plant alcohol on first? And is there any sort of preparatory spells or something you want to cast before you guys head out?
Remember, we all have inspiration.
That's true. Yep.
Now-
There's my.
Now is definitely
I
the
cast
time to
use
fucking use.
inspiration.
I don't know if you guys got like if somebody can cast invisibility or I don't know what you guys got.
Yeah, that's what I was asking
I
earlier.
don't think we have. Do we?
I don't
Or-
have anything.
Does one of you want to drink the potion of diminution to make you harder to see and easier to hide? Or
Yeah, and so we can't carry a jug. You're not tricking me, DM.
Yeah.
well, you could carry one jug probably.
We need to carry as much as possible.
Yeah, I mean a gnome can do it, and that's what the size we would turn into.
Yeah,
guys are
I'm just asking questions. If you guys like, speak now or forever hold your peace because you're about to go
Yes,
stealthing into the
there's-
camp. So.
What else we got in the bag?
I think I can put guidance on someone.
Yeah, that'll definitely be a
Yeah.
good thing to have.
I'll put
Yeah, I
guidance
give-
on
I give the
Cortanus,
potion of
'cause
shrinking.
Father
Well, whichever one of them wants to take it, I give it to them to use.
What?
The potion of shrinking.
Oh, the shrinking potion. Do
Yeah.
either of you want the shrinking potion?
I think Cortana should take it.
Do you want the shrinking potion, Cortanus? You don't
I
have
don't
to.
know how helpful
obviously.
it shall be in this particular instance, but
Yeah, neither do I. That's why I'm giving it to you, because I don't want to send it to you, so you can have it.
All right,
no,
going back in the bag.
I want
Alright.
it.
I don't appreciate.
You want it? You have the
Alright.
stone giant one.
So, Fike and Cortanus, you each have 2 jugs of moonshine. Where are you going first?
Say, let's start around. Like we're already up here, so we should probably start heading on the outskirts here.
All right.
found this yet.
Stealth checks, please.
Oh, God. The stress.
Right?
29. That's pretty good.
Whew!
Ah,
27. That's
Fuck
also pretty
yes!
good. All right. So you guys watch as Fike and Cortanis disappear into the tall grass. Fike, Cortanis, you make your way over to here, and you start kind of like pouring out the alcohol onto the grass, getting closer. As you get close, make perception checks for me. 19 and 12. Fike, the tents appear to be made from some sort of canvas, and with the proper accelerant, might actually catch fire.
Mm-hmm.
That's the plan.
just throw a little bit on it.
As you get closer to the tent, you can hear some raised voices as a group of what appears to be orcs and bugbears have gathered around one of the campfires. What languages do you guys speak?
Not those.
Let's see. Common, Elvish, thieves can't. Oh, shit.
Celestial, Fike, Cortanis.
Basically all of those except the thieves can't.
All right. So you guys don't understand a word they're saying, but you pour out a bunch of you each pour out your first jug of moonshine.
Going a bit.
And appear to be unnoticed.
On your six, Cortanis. Lead the way.
Carefully keep going.
To where?
Right there.
So you guys
Probably.
got this area.
Yeah.
Point with your finger so we can't
I
see.
know. No,
Yeah.
I'm not.
So you guys got this area
One,
right here.
two. Think we should do like how many? We have two.
You
We have
each
two
use. You were
each.
carrying 2 each. You each used 1 to do this area.
All right. So we probably need to.
Let's say let's get by where the artillery.
Yeah, probably the magical artillery.
All right. So you're going to stealth all the way over to here.
Yeah.
All right. I need some more stealth checks. 15 and 26. All right. Cortanis, you get around this big tree along the outside, and you come over to here. All right. And as you kind of wave Fike to come towards you, as you guys are kind of doing this, like you go up a little bit, I make sure the coast is clear, and then you come, and then vice versa. Fike, as you're crossing over through the grass over here, this patrol comes around that tree, and you hadn't really seen them before. And you hear one of them kind of call out, "Urok Tosh, Arastagai." And you hear the two of them start walking towards where you are in the tall grass.
I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing.
You're just laying low in the tall grass.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
gonna stay right there, and I'm gonna let Cortanis do exactly what she needs to do.
All right, Cortanis, you are over here by this tree, watching Fike lying down in the tall grass as 2 hobgoblins are walking right towards him. They don't have their swords out or anything. They just appear to be like, you know, like in a video game. Hey, I heard a noise. What's that over there? And they start,
Someone's prowling around here.
and they're walking directly towards where Fike is.
Is there any kind of like stone or anything like that I could pick up and try to toss towards another area to get them to?
Perception check.
What?
Perception. 21. I mean, you look around on the ground, scrambling, looking for something, and you find it's not so much a rock; it's like an acorn.
Okay. I'd like to try to toss it in a different direction to get them to.
Make a deception check, I guess.
Fuck.
I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
She's got it. Got it.
12.
I might use my inspiration.
Are you using your inspiration?
Okay. Fuck!
They both stop.
Shit,
They turn and say something to each other. One of them walks off towards where you threw the acorn. The other one continues towards Fike.
Fuck.
Fike, he's about 15 feet away from you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna try to at least do what I can do in the meanwhile. Shit,
Oh,
shit.
I'm just the one guy, right?
Now it's the one guy. Yeah, the other guy is about 5 feet away, 10 feet away from him, walking towards where Fike threw an acorn.
Yeah.
Or
I'm
where
just gonna
Cortanus threw an acorn.
I'm gonna, as slowly as I can, reach into my pouch and pull out a little bit of sand, and I'm just gonna go sleep. Cast sleep.
On the guy who's walking towards you?
Yep.
What's the components for it? Is it verbal and somatic?
Yep. Makes noise. I talk.
Okay. Make a sleight of hand check. I want to see if he notices or not. 14. All right. Roll for the hit points on it.
Fuck's no whammies.
That's not bad.
18. Yeah, the one that's walking towards you. You see his walk gets kind of slow, and he starts to wobble there, like a Mortal Kombat finish him, and then just falls into the grass. And you hear light snoring.
Move. Get away. Get out of
You're
there.
panicking. I'm not.
The other one reaches down, picks up the acorn, turns around, doesn't see his friend anymore, and starts walking quickly towards where his friend was.
All right.
What are you guys doing?
He's trying to get out the accelerant as fast as possible.
You're dumping it out. You didn't get quite to where you wanted over here.
Shit.
You're only about here.
Okay.
Go.
Not yet.
Go. Got this.
What are you doing? What are we doing?
How far away is he?
He's like 10 feet away from you at this point. You see him recognize the sound of snoring. He starts walking over, and he sees his buddy, and he starts walking over to him, saying, "Uzalok,
Yeah. Shut that up. Sleep.
You can't sleep again.
Yeah.
Is it a concentration spell?
Shut that up.
No, I don't think so.
No, it's not.
It's not.
No, it's not concentration. It's not checked.
Roll sleight of hand again. Roll for sleep.
Oh my god.
Just get an 18, baby.
Ooh! Yeah!
He is walking over, and you can see he's like got his finger pointing at him, and he's like scolding the guy who's not waking up, and he just falls face first into the grass, snoring.
They're thinking this one is going to be the death of me somehow.
The last, you guys got about 50 seconds before that weighs off. Where I believe it's a minute. A minute.
All right. Keep going to where we're going to go, trying to stay on the outskirts as best as possible.
Yeah, the duration is a minute.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you guys got about 50 seconds before that wears off.
Yeah, I'm gonna start dumping.
Well,
All right, you're only about here.
We're trying to keep going.
If you're gonna try and keep going, you have to make another stealth check. Seor is furiously thinking, "Kill them."
Nope.
Though you're not there, so you can't tell them anything.
You could have made a Dex character and you didn't. So your choice was to be strong. Mine was to be sneaky.
25 stealth. Cortana's 24 stealth. Much better. All right, you guys make it over to this large boulder here. You probably got about 20 seconds before the spell wears off.
So that's where we needed to be, right? That's closest.
Actually, the spell's probably worn off at this point by the time you get there.
They gotta get up though.
Well, yeah, I'm just saying it's probably
stretch.
they're probably just waking up.
Hmm.
Are you guys dumping out your?
Yeah.
All right, you guys just start dumping out your stuff all over the place. Make intelligence checks to see how well you can place it.
Okay.
What I thought. That's what I thought I'd get.
You guys empty another. Each empty another bottle, about here and here, of moonshine.
All right.
And we're gonna go straight past the encampment, off the map, and and then make a wide berth all the way around. I would say.
Back to your friends.
Yeah, I would say we're not going back the way we came, but we're gonna make a wide berth.
All right, so you're going like up that way, off the map, up and around.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Make stealth checks. $17. Okay. As you are kind of arcing your way around the outside, you see those two hobgoblins again. The one that you've put to sleep.
Both of them? Yeah.
Yeah, both of them. They are. One of them is standing up, scratching his head. The other one is holding up what looks like one of the empty jugs.
We just left them? What?
I mean, I don't know.
We've just left them.
That's fine.
We need to be careful about this.
And one of them's pointing at the other one. It looks like they're both trying to blame each other for like falling asleep or whatever.
Yeah, let's not get.
But they, one of them turns. You guys are walking. You step on a twig, Cortanus. Snap, and one of them kind of grabs the other guy by the shoulder, like you hear him be like, oh, and he kind of like stops and listens for a second.
Pause and just try not to make any noise.
He's like scanning the horizon in your direction as you're laying in the tall grass, trying not to move or even breathe.
Yeah, I'm not breathing.
And he starts walking out towards you, kind of looking at the horizon, not looking at you, but walking in that direction. The one guy is still back there, kind of like looking around on the ground, trying to see if he can't find another one of those jugs. The other one comes walking out towards you. He gets about 30 feet away from you.
Second verse, same as the first.
No.
About 20. Well, hold on. He gets about 20 feet away from you.
Staying still.
You're just holding your action there, Fike. You're like,
Yeah,
jeez. He gets about 10 feet away from you and stops. And he just kind of scans back and forth again. Make one more stealth check for me.
Both of us or just Cortanus?
Just Cortanus. 21. Okay. He takes a couple steps closer, and he's actually like you could reach out and touch his foot right now, but he's kind of gotten out away from the campfire lights, and he just kind of is staring off into the horizon, turns around, and starts walking back. You finally let yourself exhale. And start crawling back towards the group. You get back to the group.
So, how'd it go?
See, that wasn't so hard.
Oh
Buzz isn't
God.
saying anything.
I'm nervously chuckling.
You guys ever use that potion?
No.
No.
No. Just like that. No.
No, just
We-
no.
Don't have it.
No. Just no.
No.
The accelerant is in place.
Well, let's light it up.
First, let's
Yes.
get the horses into an advantageous position, and well, I mean, how far away from us are where we dumped the
horses?
No, I mean, from like where we're at now, how far away is where we dumped the booze? Like the various spots.
You guys are up here, so closest one's about 100 spot.
100
The
feet,
other
you
one,
said?
yeah, about 100 feet away, over here.
Okay.
And then the other pile area was around, so like 125 feet, 150 feet.
Okay. So we can light them both up from here.
The other ones though
Oh.
are like
Right.
300 and like 350 feet away.
Sorcerer have distance spell.
Dan's got firebolt.
Yeah, that doesn't go 350
That does not
feet.
go 350. Yeah. So. Would we
Actually,
be able to. If we kept a very wide berth, like past the map, up top here, like at the very top, like further past the map, but within like 150-foot range of both of those, like in the middle somewhere. How stealthy would we need to be from that far away?
You don't really know. Excuse me, Mr. DM. What's the
I know,
DC
right?
of the check I have to make to do this thing that I want to
I'm
do?
just trying to think like how. Like.
I say just take what we got.
We definitely
And-
want to hit towards the magic artillery, though. Especially since they don't have too much magic to put this out, maybe. You're muted if you're saying anything.
If we get on the horses and ride by, Nox can light it from a safe distance and mobile.
Yep.
And
so can
we
you.
do have, and so can I, and so can Erdan, and we can pepper in the earth. I assume they watched us do it, right, with the spyglass.
Yeah, I imagine you guys. Well, at least Nox was watching you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
I
you
imagine.
probably only saw us when we popped up to drip it out, but
Yeah.
Right.
and then we were stealthy like gods.
I'd be down to do that.
All right.
All right, let's mount up and let's all get one cool thing to say when we set things on fire.
So like you guys are just gonna be like the guys as you're riding out of town, having just robbed the bank.
Yeah. Old Town Road is playing in the background.
Oh
the
my
boat
lord!
scene from
please
Black
no.
Lagoon. Just right on.
Take me home,
Yeah.
country road.
Road.
All right.
to
So you
What an
climb.
hero.
You climb back down the far side of the rocky outcropping to your horses, and quietly lead them up around the top over here, and get into a spot where you're ready to bolt with the horses. You all mount up and look at each other. What are you doing?
Let
I'm
us deal
waiting
with
on
these.
Nox's go.
Let's
You're
deal with
waiting
these
on my go?
motherfuckers.
Yeah, you're lighting it. You're lighting the first set of fires. So prestidigitation. So we're waiting on you.
You guys are
Are we
like
not
right.
fireballing?
Yeah,
No.
you're just off. You're just off the map on the top right-hand corner.
I guess we're not fireballing. No, we're being careful.
The first set of
So
place to light fires is right here.
and then yeah, so yeah, I go ahead and do it.
Do what? Fireball?
No, prestidigitation. No, wait. Hang on. I gotta check the range on that.
Well, here's what do you want? Do you want a slow burn where it's going to start out really, really small and grow and grow and grow? Or do you want to set off an explosion and have a bunch of shit on fire right away?
I thought we were going for the slow burn. Hopefully it would
That's what I
rifle
originally.
up,
Yeah.
so we
That's
could
what I
be
believe.
sneaky
Plan.
about it, make it
Are we-
look like it was air, and
Yeah,
fireball just hit them
yeah.
out of nowhere.
Are we changing the plan?
I'm asking a question.
We're not changing the plan. We're doing
All right,
slow
then no,
burn.
slow burn,
They
slow
all
burn,
group up. We fireball.
slow,
Wait, what?
Why not slow burns?
slow
What?
burn.
Why not multiple slow burns? Guys, press prestidigitation like 3 times or something.
What's
There's
the
a
range?
range.
What's the range of prestidigitation?
Let's see.
How long is that far?
Yeah, fuck that. We're doing fireball. It's 10 feet. No way I
Yeah,
can
it's
do
not.
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, it
We're
has to
doing
be like
fireball.
2 fireballs. So basically, I'd say.
Well, I mean, you could drop one fireball in the middle here and probably hit both areas that you.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of
Can we?
fireball. It has a 20-foot radius.
That's true. Well, we still
where
need
are
to hit
the
the
other
one the
ones?
further down one. So.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
You
Why did we
ride,
do the soak then?
you ride galloping past, drop
And
a
you
fireball
just-
here. By the time you get back up here, 6 seconds will probably have passed,
Okay.
Yep.
and he can fireball again, and then,
And then you have a fireball cane if chases.
yeah.
All
I was
right. Great plan. Let's go. Let's do it. And if anybody objects.
And you guys
I
ride
object.
off in slow mo.
To not doing this earlier.
Until
As an
Yeah,
explosion
we're
going
not doing
off.
this earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad that we finally
We're
made
too
a decision.
cool. We don't look at the explosion.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Alright.
I'm looking at the
Here we go.
explosion.
I'm
Here we
not
go.
cool. I look at the explosion.
Does somebody like yell something out for to like?
No,
basically
no,
get it
everybody
back?
No,
No,
quiet.
no. We
No,
don't want
no,
to
we-
know.
No yelling.
We
Alright,
don't
okay.
catch it
So you
until
just-
fireball
No,
happens.
we
We're
are.
thinking it
So you
very
just-
loudly, though. We're thinking
There
very
you go.
loudly.
Thinking it
Get
very loudly.
fucked!
So you guys
I have-
bolt.
I have something
Out.
cool to say on my fireball.
All right. So you guys take off on your horses, galloping towards the first position. As you watch several heads kind of turn and look at like, huh, galloping horses. And then Noxus, you let loose your first fire. You hold out your hand, and this arcing little orange line of light in the night sky arcs through the air, and hits the ground right here. And you watch as a huge explosion goes off, which then sets off secondary fires. And this whole area is engulfed in flames.
Start
Got
spreading,
him.
start spreading,
Got
start
him.
spreading.
Got him, coach.
As you guys continue galloping up the side. All the orcs and bugbears and other creatures over there all look shocked and confused and aren't really sure what to do, and there's just mass chaos and hysteria. As you guys continue riding up, you get to the middle section where you can see those two hobgoblins again that you made fall asleep earlier. And they see you riding by, and you see they both lift up crossbows, and attempt to fire them at you guys, unless somebody wants to try something first.
Does anyone have?
Yeah, I could do that.
Yeah, can I try to?
What you gonna do?
I'm gonna split a chromatic orb and
I've
throw
got a
it at
light
each.
crossbow to counter
What's
it.
that, Erdan? What did you say, Erdan?
Splitting chromatic orb and throwing at each of them.
Oh, you're twinning a chromatic orb?
Yep, at 3rd level.
All right, make your your attacks.
Oh.
Oh.
Fuck! Get fucked! Get fucked!
Saren Ray is looking after you, my friend.
Roll damage. Jesus.
Fuck them!
Christ.
They're dead. They're so dead.
Yeah. So what kind of damage was it?
Lightning.
Lightning. So they both look like they just got tasered, and they just fall to the ground. They're smoking bodies, not moving.
Does that
Super
start a fire?
legitly clean, smooth, no sound. They just.
The lightning
done.
starts more
Bug zapped.
fires. Lightning starts more fires.
There's no accelerant to that right there.
Sad day.
They're fat.
What are you talking about?
They're
they had
fat.
they had the jug. If anything, it's more dangerous because of the fumes.
Jesus. As you guys continue
Trying
riding
to
up,
get every little bit out of it.
you can see the commotion has kind of spread through the camp, and there's individuals coming out of all their tents as you guys are riding past the second area.
Mike.
No, that's me.
Yep.
I take the staff. By my righteous hand, be
my
healed.
No. Let me. Never mind.
You shoot off a fireball. Another huge explosion goes. Fires start. And
you can throw your scorching rays into the.
This whole area gets set alight. As fires begin to catch on the tents, and you see as it's lighting everything up, that scarred hobgoblin comes out of his big tent, and you watch as he starts moving his arms around, some sort of spell.
Man, I wish I had some gust or
Nobody
something.
Nobody has counter spell.
Yeah.
And you're not within 60 feet anyway.
Could I hit him?
With what?
Ray?
Sorry?
Scorching ray.
What's the range on Scorching Ray?
120 feet.
120.
You could kind of like arc away from the group a little bit closer, shoot him, and then arc back, yeah. Or shoot at him.
Oh, fuck.
9 misses, 16.
Got inspiration.
16.
What would inspiration do for me?
16 hits, 10 misses. Get you a reroll. One of them hit.
Yeah, I'll use it.
So 1 reroll.
1 reroll.
Fuck!
One of them hits. So he takes 2d6 points of fire damage. Takes 5 points of fire damage. As you drill him shoulder as he's trying to cast his spell, he gets distracted, kind of moves, his eyes lock on yours for a second. He scowls, and then he goes, as you pull away on your horse, he goes back to beginning to cast his spell.
Would I possibly be able to longbow from, because it's 150 foot?
If you arced in with Seao, then yeah.
Okay.
Well, you wouldn't be at disadvantage if you arced in with Seao.
Okay. Try it. Fuck!
Miss.
Longbow is only 150 feet.
Yeah.
the first range.
Yeah.
The first range increment. You get 2
Oh, okay.
attacks.
Oh, that's true. I forgot. Fuck!
That also misses.
Oh my
Stick
god!
to your
So
katanas,
both-
katanas.
Both
No! Why do you think?
both arrows shoot wide, and he's able to finish his casting. And you watch as he summons a an ice storm over the top of the fire.
Fuck!
Um,
Well, if we got
and,
another fireball, anybody?
and not the whole area was set ablaze, but at least the section closest to his tent begins to get pelted with sleet and freezing rain and ice.
I would say use. Oh wait, it's mine. Yeah. Am I close enough to hit directly right here on him, like right in here?
Not no. You kind of have to hit the corner there. He's like over here.
Well then, yeah. So if I hit that, it'll be a 20-foot range. So I would hit that. Is
You'd
what
hit
you're
that.
saying?
You'd hit that tower, and it'd probably hit the edge of the ice storm.
Then I want to do that.
All right. Roll 8d6.
Yes!
32. So the two goblins on the top of the tower are incinerated.
Nice.
And the tower goes up in flames. However, the ice storm is enough to hold off. So only half of this fire is raging. This fire, as you look back, perception checks. Those of you that roll above a 10 will see that the first fire that you set has spread.
Yes! Go, go, go!
As that is the last thing you see as you guys ride off into the distance of the night, into the night.
Holy fuck.
Okay, good job, guys.
So
Oh
we
my
got
God.
information.
You got intel.
Yep.
Killed a bunch of people.
Probably killed it.
Hopefully.
Well, yeah,
A decent
probably.
amount.
At least,
In
at
their
least
tent
4.
beds.
It's less than they had.
Destroyed one of the towers. That's noble.
Yep, that's always good.
Mm-hmm.
Pissed off a mage. That's always fun.
I was hoping to at least set that tent on fire, but that
Yeah.
didn't happen.
Yeah, unfortunately. Well, you don't know if that caught or not, but
You're too fast.
because you're riding off.
Fucking sleet storm, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Yeah, is the only spell that he had left was a 4th level ice storm.
Well, we did what we could.
Well,
And
you
now we
know
have
that
more
anyone that's in the
information
ice storm is dead too.
But that also taught you that he has a 4th level spell.
Yep.
Intel, yay! Mission success.
So congratulations, you guys are all alive, and you are
Hooray.
riding like bats out of hell north away. You guys will take a point of exhaustion probably riding through the night.
Yeah, we don't
Fair.
stop.
Fair.
But
We don't want the wards to catch up with us once they get back.
yeah.
Yeah.
So Fike, Nox, and Sayao, you guys each got 8 experience points.
Woo!
Cortanis and
2
Erdan.
away.
Cortanis and Erdan, you each got 9 experience points.
I leveled up as well.
Ooh, time to vote.
I'm a little more composed than Cortana's one.
Well, I don't know. It's been
Sorry.
a couple sessions.
And
I
you
don't know.
guys completely avoided the tower ballistas.
Oh, you had it all set up too.
Yeah.
Bill,
Um,
could have gave you some joy.
they did a lot. They do 2d6 or 2d12 plus 3 damage.
I was gonna
Plus
say-
3 damage.
I was gonna say 2d6. Those
No.
are puny.
2d12.
Yeah,
plus-
ow.
Yeah, that would hurt.
Not if you
Um,
rolled ones. If you rolled ones, everyone would be fine.
Yeah. So everybody needs to vote on Fike. What level is he taking? Has he been more roguey or more paladin-y since his last level?
I think that includes like almost the whole entire.
He did just sneak through the fucking camp to
Yeah.
kill a bunch of things, but at the same
Yeah.
time they're evil. So he's more like a Robin Hood. So it's complete.
Chaotic good?
A little bit.
Chaotic
Yeah.
good?
Like yeah, it's kind of like chaotic good. Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you choose between paladin and rogue? They're so. I want to say rogue just because he's doing more roguey things, but that was just from this session. I
Yeah.
can't remember the other sessions full.
It's been like since before the hags.
Yeah,
since-
oh
Yeah.
my god.
It's been a long time.
Yeah, since about the hags.
Hmm.
Yeah, I remember
There was a lot
that.
of paladin-y stuff in that town.
There
Yeah.
was.
And
You've been the
then-
face, and paladins are facey, but
Mhm.
rogues can be charming.
No, he was like he was.
Plus a charm rogue, yeah.
I think he gets a
He's a
level in
smuggler.
priest just so he keep the
And
priest.
priest.
In
And
priest. In
I'm,
Judas
I'm,
priest.
I'm subclassing into priest.
I think he needs-
Tricast.
So we got one vote for paladin.
No, I was definitely meant priest.
Oh, well.
In priest.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna.
In
My vote's gonna
Padre.
be for.
One padre.
In Padre.
Yeah, one Padre.
Oh, I think like overall there was like slightly bit more paladin. Like there was a lot of rogue, but there was also a lot of paladin. So it's like very close, but I think there was like slightly more paladin.
I
paladin.
can't remember a bit of it, so I'm literally just going off this last session as being rogue.
Hey, it's whatever criteria you feel you
Yeah.
need to use. So that's 2 paladin.
So basically, the way I'm going to dictate the way that I figure this out is what skills are you using? Are you dex skills or are you using more charisma? And I've been noticing that you've been using more dex skills, so I will say rogue.
So it's 2 to 1. Sao. There's 2.
Wait, what do you
two,
have
two.
me down as?
No,
then? I'm a
it's- No,
Yeah, it's 2 to 1.
yeah, rogue, right?
Oh,
Oh, I thought you were going paladin. So it's 2 rogue,
No.
1 paladin.
Yeah.
Sao?
see there? He's not even listening.
He's
Go.
not even there. All right.
No,
well,
he's not even there.
it's whoever was here. So take another level in rogue.
All right.
So what level of rogue is this?
4.
Level
No.
The democracy has spoken.
Yeah. It's 4 rogue, 3 in paladin.
Oh. So you get an ability score improvement or a feat. Your choice.
I'm so happy.
Yeah.
I'm so happy. I'm so happy. I love this.
What did you get there, Cortanis?
Warding maneuver. I've been wanting warding maneuver for so long. I love that.
Warding maneuver, she
It's so
said.
good.
Hey Dan, do you still have your inspiration?
Mm-hmm.
Fighter.
I didn't need to use it. I got a nat 20.
30.
It's cavalier thing. It's not a fighter thing.
Yep.
But, yep.
Well, that's what, yeah, I'm looking at
Yeah.
Cavalier. At 7th level, you learn to fend off strikes directed at you, your mount, or other creatures nearby. If you or a creature you can see within 5 feet of you is hit by an attack, you can roll a d8 as a reaction if you're wielding a melee weapon or a shield. Roll the die and add the number rolled to the target's AC against the attack. If the attack still hits, the target has resistance against the attack's damage. That's pretty cool.
I love it so much. It has saved
You
so
can
many
use-
asses.
you
Because
can
fuck
use
you and
this
your crits.
feature-
Fuck your crits.
You can use this
negate a
feature a number of times equal to your Constitution modifier,
Which is pretty good. I have pretty good con.
and you gain all expended uses when you finish all. What's your con mod?
Well, +3. I mean, 3 times is pretty good.
So 3 times per long rest. That's not bad.
Mhm.
Oh, that's pretty good.
I was
can only
thinking
do the
of taking the actor.
unwavering mark
Oh.
attack twice.
Sao, did you get your XP that I gave you? Sao? Sao?
No, sorry.
Did you get your XP that I gave you?
No, sorry.
Oh, you got 8 XP.
Cool.
And then Fike leveled up, so you have to vote on Rogue or Paladin.
It was all rogue.
Rogue. All right, so definitely Rogue then. You're voted by quite a bit there, Cortanis.
Fair.
Unanimous democrat.
Well, she also has like the tapes. She has the receipts. She can like
Yeah.
Yeah.
look at all the look at
She'll go back and study it. Where I'm like over here, like, yo,
Well, he snuck
He
around
did
a lot today.
He did a lot of stealth today.
He snuck around a lot this session, so I guess it was Rogue.
he was sneaky. That's a rogue thing.
Yeah. I think the
You
roll
guys
your
cut out a lot.
roll your hit points while I'm here.
oh yeah.
Yep.
Rogue's a D8, right?
Yep. 3
Mother.
plus whatever.
Woo!
Yep. That's 6.
Oh, nice. An even 75 hit points now.
Oh.
An even odd 75 hit points.
Yeah. I got what you were trying to say.
I don't know whether or not to pick the observant feat just to fuck with Bill because I'm tired of him going. What's your passive perception? I just want to go 20. It's 20. Did it get it past the 20?
You see everything.
I see all things. Or I'm gonna take the actor feat. That gives me advantage on deception and performance. And then I could also do. I can perfectly mimic his southern accent and voices of his Colonel Sanders. People don't know that I'm just making fun of them because that's what they think I talk like. That's part of the feat.
Is that one of the bullet points on the feet?
I can read it out for you if you want. It specifically
mentions Colonel Sanders.
No, it mentions you can mimic the speech of another person or sound made by any other character. You must have heard the person speak or heard the creature makes a sound for at least 1 minute. A successful
That's
wisdom